I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My family's on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the result. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who be caught up in using what I was called with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while stenciling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. Soul bent torn, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and norm when you see them others perform. Organized chaos, outcast it like hey ya.
Yo, party people in place to be. What's good? It's your number one chief rockin' Knicks universe, your main man, Uncle Freezy, coming through to rock the spot. Welcome to the premiere Knicks in the Morning Time show, the Knicks Morning Drive. Salute everybody. Salute. Let me see if I have a little jingle thing to play to get us started, man. Yeah, there we go. Let's play a little something to get us on.
Fans, check it out. Yo, wake up, Knicks fans, it's time to rise. Large in tears, yes, the morning drive. Welcome to the show, always honest and true. Talking about the team, yeah, you know how we do. It's a new day, grab your coffee, let's flow. Cat in the building, Bronx is ready to go. OG and McHale, this win to stop us for real. Orange tears, got the passion gonna feel. Freezy and the crew, we keeping it fresh. Breaking down the team, yeah, we know who's next. Do some Preston Rising, Josh hard as the glue. Got the fire every morning, bleeding orange and blue. Orange tears, it's a brand new year. Repping for the Knicks, no doubt, no fear. We got the squad, we making moves. Tuning every morning, yeah, we setting the groove. Orange tears, it's the Knicks we love. From MS Street straight to the sky above. Orange and blue, this gonna be our year. This is the vibe, it's Orange tears. We're breaking down the trades, analyzing stats. Dunking on the haters, bringing the Knicks back. Clyde with the suit, he's keeping it slick. Orange tears every morning, get you your Knicks fix. We go hard every day, another one in the books. Getting excited about our 3 new rooks. From the draft to the playoffs, it's some time to shine. With Cola, Capardi, and Dottier, the future's divine. Freezy and the fam, we calling the plays. Dropping knowledge on the Knicks, we hit them with maze. You know what it is, subscribe and hit that like. Orange tears every morning, we taking flight. Orange tears, it's a brand new year. Repping for the Knicks, no doubt, no fear. We got the squad, we making moves. Tuning every morning, yeah, we setting the groove. Orange tears, it's the Knicks we love. From MS Street straight to the sky above. Orange and blue, you know it's our year. This is the vibe, it's Orange tears. Yeah. Big Paisan in the house. Come on. AKA Knicks Morning Coach Al Pika. Uncle Freezy. Peace.
Y'all know what it is. I'm your man's the number one chief rockin' Knicks universe, your main man, Uncle Freezy, coming through to rock the spot. Salute everybody, man. Been real busy here lately. with some work stuff. But here we are, right? Here we are. Man, I got a lot of stuff that I want to talk to y'all about. I hope y'all are ready to talk to me. Let me see how we get this camera on. This camera makes me look crazy. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Hopefully, let's see if we can grab Coach out the weeds to see if he can come hang out with us. Coach, let me see. Coach said this dude rapping is whack. What? Coach, get out the bed. Oh, look who here. Look who here. He's back. And my Eric Bischoff voice. Ah! And my Kenny King, Jerry Lawler. Ah! Hey, what's good, big dog?
They killing me out there, all this work and stuff.
Yeah, man. Hey, man. Work. Work, bro. It's crazy.
This is loose McPride.
Yeah, man. So, hey, congratulations, Deuce. They had a trade.
Man.
A Deuce. Now they got a little baby, man. So, and salute everybody in the chat. Just Knicks, Sherwin, Hot Graphic, Just Knicks, Fred Wong. Who else is in it? Dripmore. Salute. I saw Dripmore doing the thing, to put haircuts out there, man. I see you. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Max out in the building. Salute. Who else? DSJ, the original DSJ is in the building. Salute. Man, salute all of y'all, man. I missed y'all, man. Want to come through right the spot, man. Talk the way that y'all like to have this talk to y'all, man. Coach, what's on your mind, bro?
Man, just waiting to see what's going on with this,
a lot of nothing.
Season. Huh? I'm trying not to look at fantasy football quite yet. Yeah. But no,
Y'all want to be in that fantasy football league with us, man. Y'all gotta let us know.
Yeah, for sure. I'm I've been doing that. I've been hitting that NBA trade machine quite a bit.
I saw.
Yeah, I'm just messing around.
Yeah. Full disclosure, the NBA trade machine hit me up on the side and is filing a complaint with the union because it's complaining to me that it's being overworked.
Too many Nick possible trades in the mix.
The trade machine's complaining about overtime hours in the offseason.
And none of my trades I've been doing lately have to do with Cat or Bridges or none of them. It was Hart. Really just Hart mainly because and it's not that I don't love Hart, but that he's got that price tag that, that 19 mil. You can get two quality players right nowadays for that money,
Yeah, well. So I had a few topics that I was gonna kind of talk about until I got the text. I was like, because I called, I was like, yo, Coach probably laying it down, you know what I'm saying? He probably tired, you know what I'm saying? And I'm only here because I have an IT malfunction, and so there's nothing I can do. Can't work, may as well work, right? That's what it is. But I have a question for you. I'll ask you first.
All right.
And I understand your answer won't be the end all be all. Mm-hmm. And so once you answer, if you allow me to kind of drill down a little bit based on what you say, man, maybe we can come up with like some type of satisfying answer to the chat, and then ask the chat how they feel about what they hear from us, and then maybe we can bring that all together and see if we can satisfy any outstanding questions.
Yeah, man.
So my question to you is, are you concerned about how long it's taking the Knicks to find a head coach?
Not at all. I think one of the reasons why they made the decision when they did it's something that I think they've been considering already because of many other factors.
Yep.
Some of it is things they presented to him and the players and all this stuff. And I think they did it this early because they knew this wasn't a decision they were going to take lightly, who the next guy was.
Nah.
So when you make this decision, this whole thing, all these pundits and so-called fans saying that they don't have a plan. Like, the plan is when you're making this choice for the next best thing, the next coach, you got to have time to do it. So you do all of your due diligence. You exhaust all possibilities. You look at.
You mind if I jump in right there on the because you mentioned 3 points, and I just want to jump in on that first one.
Yeah.
The first one you mentioned is, what kind of sane, productive, efficient organization jumps out of one relationship directly into another?
Exactly.
It don't happen.
You're right.
No organization, no sane, competent, efficient organization jumps out of one relationship directly into another, right? That means it's like the girl that's always in and out of relationships. The reason why she's always in and out of relationships is because she's always looking for a certain type relationship and they never work. But she don't know because she keep jumping in and out of the same type, right? And so as an organization, DJ Cash Middleton, my brother D'Angelo is in the building. Get up on your feet. Shout out to my guy, D'Angelo in the building. I love you, brother.
Sir.
Brooklyn in the building. But coach, to the point about the thing is, man, listen. When you show restraint, that proves that you have guidance. Right? Like when you show restraint, that shows you have guidance. Like even Rocky had somebody in his ear. You ever sort of move the Rocky franchise?
Of course.
And the dude gets in the ring and fights, right? But even in ring struggles and outer ring struggles, there's somebody always in Rocky's ear. Like, no, Rock, don't do it like this, Rock. You know what I'm saying? Or something like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, if you're the Knicks, if you're a competent organization, and they are, clearly the Knicks are competent.
No pain.
Yeah. Come here, woman. But anyway, the Knicks, with the Knicks showing restraint, it means they're taking their time, right? Doing a self-evaluation and a self-reflection. So the thing about the Knicks is you reflect first and then you evaluate what you reflected on. So the fact that it's taking them time to go through this process means that they are not looking to be the same old LOL type Knicks organization.
Right.
And maybe they've been this for a while, but this is the first time that we've seen them display these characteristics, because these characteristics, for the most part, have never been necessary because this regime has never had to fire a coach. And so we're only seeing it on display now, right? Because this is the first time they have to show these characteristics.
Right. And then, to me, it's this, even if they were 99% sure who they know who they want to be the next coach, they still have to give the other interviews. They have to show the due diligence. They have to go through all these motions. And because it's not a good look if Tom Thibodeau gets fired 2 or 3 days later, oh, look who's our coach. And that means it's something that looks shady. Right. And everyone's gonna be complaining. That's like you just got broke up from a relationship, or you got a divorce and you already engaged next week to some other girl.
With your ex-boyfriend's cousin. That was hanging around. Right?
Yeah.
You see how weird and off-putting all of that stuff is?
How can you get a divorce or break up? You didn't have a plan for the next girl. I mean, come on, man.
That's not how this thing works.
Exactly.
How this thing works is you remove the point of contention. Whatever the point of contention is, you remove it. Anything that point of contention harmed, you fix that. Right? Like it's like anybody in here, y'all ever moved a fence, like moved a gate? Like if you moved a fence, right? You dig the fence up out of the ground and you set the fence where you want it to be. But guess what you left behind?
The hole.
The remnants of where the gate used to be. You have holes in the ground, some brown grass, some stuff. So you have to fix that too. Right? And so the fact that the Knicks are taking their time going through the coaching search, because one of the things that we don't notice is that as fans, we tune out the outside noise. And when you do that, basically what you do is if you tune out everything, that means you're not listening to the bad stuff, but you're not listening to the solid input either.
Right.
Fritz, what's good, bro?
What's up, Fritz?
I'm doing pretty good and enjoying the conversation.
Yeah, buddy. And then like Cash kind of made what my next point was going to be. If the front office is considering a couple of moves that might shore up the roster, that's something you need to consider with the next coach. Because before we had a coach already implemented before we started making some of these major moves, and the coach was having to learn how to adjust to the roster. Now in this case, we already are going to have a roster, and we have to pick the right coach that's going to fit our roster in this group of players.
Right.
And if I may interject.
Hey, Mitch, you didn't say hello to everybody, bro.
Hello, guys.
Let's go, Mitch.
Hold on. I'm talking. Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, I mean, as far as how I've been doing, Coach, I've had a rough week. Nearly got bit by a copperhead last week.
Man.
And nearly choked to death on a pretzel shard on Monday.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to. I'm not laughing at you.
I'm laughing at you.
I'm laughing with you. Glad you're okay.
Yeah, glad. Yeah, definitely glad you're okay, bro. But we're gonna tell jokes later.
Yeah.
And as far as you ask me, the biggest problem with the two most prominent candidates on the table right now, Jenkins and Brown, is the lack of playoff success, no matter what roster you throw together with them.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm not as obsessed with resumes as some other people are, because I'm more obsessed with the right coach to lead this particular group of men.
Right.
Because we've seen from time and time again, and I said this last week when I was on, the last 11 championships, including 3 or 4 by Steve Kerr, are all by coaches that weren't a big name before they got the job they got. So Steve Kerr didn't have a job before he got the Golden State job. Mike Budenholzer wasn't anywhere before he had the Bucks job. A lot of these guys didn't have, resumes, but as far as
Joey Mazzulla
going to the playoffs and building, those days are not. This is a different league now. Like it's about the right fit with the right, and to me, I think a fresh outlook and, a fresh coach, especially if he's more on the younger side, I think we can benefit from that.
Oh boy, Coach trying to cook.
Coach
trying to cook. I see you, fella. I
I'm old. You know, I'm 50, but these old dudes need to get out. Man, it's just a new regime, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like we need some new blood.
You think someone like me could work as a coach in the NBA?
I don't know.
Who is that?
I've heard some of your takes during the games. I don't know.
Yeah.
None of us are qualified.
Nah.
A
little late in the game for us.
Yeah, it's a little. Yeah, we got to start. By the time we start down that road, bro, we'll be 70.
I think I can handle being an assistant.
Yeah,
I'm knowledgeable enough. But
At that point, mid-40s at best.
So one of the things that I noticed, because I watched a lot of shows while I'm working, right? Just have some ambient, something going on. One of the things I noticed is Knicks fans are polarized by a fact that is a low priority fact. In the moment, it was a very, very, very high priority. Since it wasn't successful, it's low priority now. That fact is somebody's got something crunching, man. Now, who's coming up here being unprofessional with the crunching? Somebody had something going on. Anyway, the high priority in the moment was the Eastern Conference Finals. Right now that we lost in the Eastern Conference Finals, right? It's a low priority because of how we felt. Maybe we should have been there before, or maybe this is the year you get over the hump, right? And so on that note, I noticed that some fans are frustrated Tibbs is gone. And to those fans, I'll say, get over it.
Get over it.
Yeah.
Get over it. The guy was.
There's nothing we can do. Even though I feel for you, there's nothing we can. They're not bringing him back. Right? There's nothing we can do to undo that firing. Right? He's gone. Period. Is what it is. Right? But what I will say to you is, there has been rumors of Tom Thibodeau being fired after year 2, when he started Alec Burks at point guard for 53 games. That backcourt of Evan Fournier and Alec Burks was a real thing when you had kids on the bench and he didn't play them, right? Then there is the you lose to Miami in game 6 when you sit Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle at the same time to bring in Deuce McBride and Obi Toppin, and the Miami Heat grab a lead in that game, and they never relinquished it. When you had a 7-point lead with the arrow pointing to game 7 at Madison Square Garden, and you took out Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, your only 2 sources of offense, the only 2 dudes that could score. Remember, RJ Barrett was 1 for 10 in that game.
Yep.
Right? The only 2 sources of offense, you sit them at the same time, and Gabe Vincent and a hobbled Jimmy Butler beat you in game 6. And we were thinking that was fireball right then, right? Because people at the end of that game want to blame Jalen Brunson for turning the ball over. But what we really should have looked at is, why is Josh Hart on the floor then when you need ball handling and 3-point shooting?
Or last year.
Hold on. Wait, let me finish. I got you. We got plenty of time. Last year, when we lost to Indiana, when we were up 2-0 in a game 3 where we had the lead, and Tibbs somehow, with the lead, wanted to go with more offense instead of more defense. The defense holding them down. He's like, oh, now's the perfect time. Now's the perfect time to bring Jalen Brunson back so we can get more offense. And Indiana took the lead because Jalen Brunson's man hit a game-tying 3, and Indiana took the lead. And then this year, you saw it play out with your own eyes. Every year since year 2, Tibbs had been on the hot seat, borderline getting fired. So when he got fired this time, I was like, 3 strikes you out. At the end of year 2, at the end of year, whatever. 4 strikes you out. If you're a Yankees fan, 4 strikes you out. Whatever. I don't know. Right. And so you get all these chances, and then the organization gives you everything you want. Coach Fritz, every offseason you saw the Knicks do a major move for Tom Thibodeau, right?
Yep.
Remember bringing in Josh Hart? Remember that?
Yep.
Yo, my man Jay Boogie in the building, out the bushes. Yo, salute to my brother, Queen's finest. Jay Boogie is in the building. Jay Boogie, thank you for the generous contribution. He said, you mean to tell me I got a morning drive this morning? I'm delivering everything. Shout out to the Blawrence Tids family, Knicks family. Salute, 3 capital S's. Salute to the greatest point guard to ever come out of Queens, New York. Jay Boogie in the building. Salute. Go ahead, Mitch. I just had a lot of things. I just wanted to get that off, man, because my point was incomplete.
I mean, I was about to bleed into that. Last year, Game 3 against Indiana, for some reason, you sit DiVincenzo back down for Brunson for prioritizing offense over defense when that was not going to work. Combined with the fact that injuries had basically left you stretched thin anyway. And you don't use the bench at any point in that series either.
DiVincenzo was on fire.
That man could have scored 55 in that game, bro.
And he threw him out of rhythm by sitting him down.
And he threw him out of rhythm 3 times. Coach, how often do you see a coach throw a player out of rhythm 3 times in one game and the players still end up with 37?
At least once. That's all. He used to do it. He used to do it to Cat all the time this season. He did it. There was probably at least 10 to 12 games he took Cat out when he was literally abusing the other team in the first quarter. And then I've seen games where Cat was cooking, had 8-10 points in the first quarter, and didn't get a shot in the second half.
Yeah,
it happened in the playoffs.
Twice. Coach and I were watching, we can't say pull our hair out because I bought some stuff off Temu to try to grow your hair back. Whatever, it's not working.
And then they blame Cat for not being aggressive when he ain't the one bringing up the ball.
Right,
he can't pass it to himself.
Right.
Have you tried fertilizer freezing?
Yeah, I put shit on my head all the time, bro.
No, I meant like actual manure.
Yeah, but and my only thing is, and especially hearing all the pundits around the league, the ex-players who think because they got a podcast, they played before, they're experts, but they're not.
No.
How everyone says how the Knicks bench sucks and they're not good. And as far as production, I agreed. I've said it in the game sometimes. Our bench sucks. But the reason why they sucked is because they didn't get the run.
Right.
You never know how good the Knicks of all franchises should know this. We literally had the most famous give a guy on the bench a chance moment in NBA history with Linsanity.
Right.
Us of all franchises should know that if you just give a dude a chance, sometimes something might happen.
Something might happen.
Like a lot of these guys all made it to the league for a reason. Like almost every one of these guys in the league were the top dog coming up. They were all the best dude in their town. They were all the best dude on their high school team or their club team. They're all showing out in college. They're all
clicking on your thing, man.
Yeah. This is an exclusive club. Like the NBA, it's the hardest league in professional sports to crack a pro roster. You only got 15 spots.
Yeah.
There's 2 rounds. That's it.
Yep.
There ain't room for new dudes every year, bro.
Nah.
How many second round? Look on our team. How many first round, second round guys never saw the damn court? Since for the last 5 years, the only time we had rooks come in the game if there was a blowout or injuries.
Good point. Let me tap into my guy Fritz Alcindor. Fritz Alcindor is in the building. Hey Fritz. Hey
Hey,
Fritz.
what's up?
Hey, you been cooking for Haitian National Week?
Nah.
Curry goat.
What kind of Haitian? Bro, are you really Haitian, bro?
I'm not a real Haitian.
I don't smell no curry goat.
Yeah, bro. Come on, man. Have you
No. I'm the rice and beans and griot is probably as far as I go. And I don't have that often. That's like, oh man.
Hey, hey, chat. Did anybody in the chat have y'all ever saw that movie Shatters?
I've never
Chat,
seen
have
it.
you seen
I've
that
seen
movie Shatters?
You go to
Chris,
sleep
have
after that?
Yeah.
Oh man, movies like that. Oh man, they mess me up.
Yeah, but well, here's the thing. So here's the thing about Shatters, right? Right. The dude was like, you come to Jamaica and complain about tuna. Go back to America where you can eat steak, is what that man said in there. It was hilarious. And so that's what I'm gonna say to Fritz. So Fritz is 1/10 Haitian.
Nah. My dad's Haitian. So.
Yeah, right. Bro, all I'm gonna say is this, man. We should be celebrating our Haitian heritage. Haitian,
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
Haitian and Nigerian, right? For a fact. I just checked this stuff. I just checked it out again Saturday. So yeah, man. But anyway, Coach, a lot of the things that you mentioned, that you mentioned, right? I think organizationally they may agree with you, and this may be the reason for the parting of ways.
Yep.
How do you ask me to take these steps? I take these steps and you don't follow through. Because what it is it's not an ideological point with Tom Thibodeau. In my mind, I think the dude is smart.
Yeah.
Right? I think the dude is smart. I think in the moment he has flaws. Fritz, you've been through this before. You know how you can plan stuff for a week, and then when the moment gets there, you can't execute. You ever been in a coach? You know how on your job, you know how you go in the conference room, the whole staff is there. You pass out this paper. Oh, this is the stuff. This is the order of the meeting. We're going to touch on a few. So we're in a conference room. We're talking about this stuff. This is the order. We're going to talk about these points, and then this is what we're going to do, right? Everybody in the meeting is like, yeah, man, Uncle Freezy, no, I agree with you. Yeah, man, I'm good with it. I'm good. And then when we get on the floor and the phone starts ringing, sales calls come in, and then people forget protocol. Like they forget like what we planned for. I think that's what happens with Tom Thibodeau. I think Tom Thibodeau is that guy that's super smart and super prepared before the moment, gets to the moment, and gets caught up in the moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, like, yeah, exactly. And like, for the front office and for the other professionals, especially when you have one of your players that actually, because what we see that comes out in public, usually it's been brewing before that.
Right.
So like when Mikal Bridges had the cojones to say what he said publicly, and really what he's thinking about, he was really giving a shout out to the bench guys.
Yeah.
If you look at it that way.
Teammates.
Like, there's nothing more discouraging than when you're a bench guy and you're a professional who has been a big part of some other organizations pretty recently. And I'm talking about guys like Campaign and even PJ Tucker, like some of these guys, like on paper, are they going to make the difference? I don't know. But we don't know that because we had a guy that never played him.
Right.
And there's nothing more of a slap in the face to Leon Rose and the front office who are busting their behinds, getting you this whole team, filling out the back of the bench, and for you not even to use them. You have to. You can't tighten things up 10 games into the season. And that's something we've complained about him from the beginning. So we complained about, I remember on this show, many of our fans give the kids a chance. Like, let's see the kids. And at the time, the kids were IQs, the OBs,
the Cam Reddishes,
the Deuces, the Sims,
the Jericho Sims. Yeah.
Let's see what we got with these guys. Because
the Mitchell Robinsons.
Right. So, because here's the thing. There's something you learn sooner. Like, if you see right away by playing them, they ain't ready, then there it is. We have the proof. Now we know why you're not using them. Now we know it's time to move on to something else. But when you sit there and sit on something for 2 years and never even see, and then you bring it out, then you just wasted 2 years. We could have been developing it, brought in another guy, got rid of him because he was no good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But instead, you just let him sit there and fester on the bench.
I have a name for you. I have a name for you that's that it's gonna make Fritz laugh, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Fritz, don't judge me, bro. It's a Wednesday morning. All my computers are down, and I had some time to think about this. Or not all the computers. Clearly, I'm on one right now, but y'all get what I'm saying. Trevor Keels.
Yeah.
You remember Trevor Keels?
Not really.
You remember Jalen Martin?
The guy we gave away for Jalen Duren, and then we gave away for something else.
Right. These guys, right?
Like,
Jalen Martin is on the Washington Wizards roster right now.
Ugh.
Right. He was raw when we got him, but he was raw, right? His thing was never his skill. His thing was experience. He just needed to play. Right? When we got him, we acquired him, he was 20. Right? 19. When we got him, he was 19. We got Trevor Keels, he was 19. Right? And we were like, okay. The Knicks just drafted Tom Thibodeau, a guy that fits his mold. 6'4", 220-pound point guard defender. Right? Out of a blue blood. He was drafted or acquired drafted him in the second round out of Duke. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Tibbs never gave this. Bro, Tom Thibodeau never said that player's name.
Mm-mm.
Like in theory, he could still be here now if he was a hooper. Right? But here's the question. If he's not a hooper, why'd you waste an early second round pick on him? Right? And here's the other thing. If you didn't have time to develop him, why'd you draft him? Why'd you trade that early second round pick for future assets? But if you did draft him and have faith in him, why didn't you follow through with him? You see what I'm saying? Like some of these pieces are puzzling in a sense that it was time to move on from the guy. He did what he was brought here to do. He did it in 2 years. To me, the separation was 3 years too late, in my mind. And it's nothing against Tom Thibodeau. It's just that certain people fit with certain organizations and some people don't. And Coach, you've been there. You heard this saying before. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Like y'all heard this thing. Y'all heard sayings like this before, right? My thing is with that is if you knew the Knicks were transitioning from a team that had a dearth of talent, that needed talent in the worst way, to a team that's going to be a championship contender, how do you go about bringing in Tom Thibodeau as the guy that's going to be the top end coach? Well, Tom Thibodeau was never meant to be the top end coach. Tom Thibodeau was meant to be Moses and not Aaron.
I thought it was Joshua.
These things, no, it's not. No, Joshua ruled. Remember, Joshua was a ruler in Canaan.
But he was but Moses and Aaron were never allowed into the promised land. It was,
you sure? I'm gonna look at it.
It was a punishment. God declared after the
Aaron did.
No, they were both punished to never see the promised land.
You sure?
Only Caleb and Joshua were allowed to go in.
Fritz, is that accurate?
No.
Fritz is a preacher. I'm just asking. So it may be, you may be right. He may be right. But anyway, the point is, one guy was supposed to go get the other guys, and he was not meant to go in, and then another guy took the next step. So, yeah.
So here's the thing with. So Tibbs, he came in what, the 1920 season?
2020, 2021.
Yeah, that season. Yeah.
Right.
Remember that season started late though, Coach. Remember that was the season that started.
Yeah.
The COVID bubbles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people give credit to Tibbs when we forget that's when we got RJ Barrett. We just got Randall.
Yeah.
You know, like those, in case you hadn't missed it, RJ Barrett and Julius Randle are highly sought after talent in this league. They're both 20-point scorers. In case you hadn't missed it, RJ Barrett was pretty good last year.
Yeah, he was really good.
I mean, he was like 21, 6, and 5.
On a decent field goal percentage too, I think.
Yeah. He shot like 48%, I think, or 46. I don't know.
Something. Yeah.
Now, you know.
Yeah,
so
RJ Barrett. So
you start this whole the chicken and the egg conversation. Oh, were they good because of Tibbs, or did they do good because the players started getting better? We obviously messed up the Kemba Walker thing. You know, there's some things we had to recover from. Yeah.
Right.
And we're acting like we were this world-beaten team. Like that year, we were the number 4 seed in the East. Reggie Bullock had the year of his life shooting.
Yeah.
I mean, Randall was. I mean, there was guys playing. It was just this weird year, man. The thing is, that's the kind of coach Thibodeau is. He does get the most out of, you know, decent professional veteran guys.
Right.
But as far as developing young talent and using a superstar laden team, he's shown he's not good at that. So the fact that we're taking them so much time to justify why we got rid of the guy, I still don't understand.
Yeah, and he's gone. So no matter what happens, he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone. He's going to go. I'm not saying that I hate Tibbs, man. Have a nice life.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And the thing is, I think how we started this conversation was, why didn't we? Yes, man. Keep doing.
Mitch is coming in with all the noise, man.
I know, man.
Oh man, come on! It's like
Thanking.
the third time.
So like, it's not that you can't rush this decision. That's why we made it when we did. It was perfect timing to me. So I in the end, I can't fast forward time and say I told you so. But we're gonna see what happens with the next coach. if we don't have success and we don't show any improvement, then you can say "you told you so" to me all you want.
Yeah. Well, there it is.
Everybody,
Yeah.
whoever's out there that didn't like
But
this decision.
so the thing is with the next coach, though. The thing is with the next coach, I think we should probably. The thing is with the next coach, I think the Knicks, what they're gonna do, is listen to the players first, right? Listen to your staff. Listen to your personnel. Your personnel should always have say. Do they have control? Some, but you have management in place to handle most of the stuff. The thing I'm concerned with is with a roster this talented, is this roster cohesive? So Fritz, listen, this is my conversation tree. We know the roster is talented. Is it cohesive? And if it's cohesive, is it cohesive as what? As all offense, all defense, somewhere in the middle, 3-point shooter, transition? Once we identify that, right? Then I think the decision should be made. Does the coach we're looking for that has all the leadership qualities prefer the cohesive unit? Is he a fit for the personnel that we have? And if he's a fit for the personnel that we have, how do we approach that in the offseason? Do you fix up around the edges or do you have to make major moves? So generally, I don't outline it like that for everybody because I like to have people freedom in the conversation, but just want to give you what I'm thinking up front, right? So that, when the conversation goes whichever direction, however it goes, when y'all add y'all information to it, right? Just keep that in mind. Like, is this roster talented? And if you say yes, is it cohesive? And if you say yes, and then I say, and then so the next question is cohesive how, right? Like which part of it is the most efficient? And if that's and when you identify the most efficient part, can you find a coach that's going to bring the leadership and development and also be a piece that accentuates the cohesiveness of that unit, right? So that you can have the perfect picture. Now, with that said, do you have the depth, the infrastructure to maintain that cohesion, right? And that's where the bench part comes into play, right? You remember when everybody was saying like we don't have a bench, we could do this thing really good in spurts, but when the guys get tired or the other coach throws out a different look or whatever, and we need the bench is not. That's why I was going to ask you guys, like, is this, Fritz, in your opinion, is this roster as talented as we think?
I think it's a lot more talented than we showed.
Yep.
There's probably some elements we need, but yeah, I think it's way more talented than we showed.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Coach?
Because we've seen it. We've seen it at points, and not only we see it, we've seen it in like stretches for 2 weeks, or we've seen it. So you can't say it's not there. We just couldn't maintain it.
I saw this roster time and time again overcome horrible coaching decisions and win because they were more talented. Like, it's one thing to have Brunson and Cat not be above average. They're barely average defenders, probably below average. Last I checked, the two best players on the Pacers are their best defenders, and they're in the finals.
Let me state this because I think that right there, I'm not calling you out, but I just want to say this publicly. I think that is partially false. I think Cat and Brunson are below average defenders in Tom Thibodeau's scheme.
Right.
Is what I'm thinking.
Right.
Now
their shortcomings are exposed.
Hold on. Below average, below average overall, I'm not really going because the thing about it is if you put Cat and Brunson in zone defense, right? You put them in zone defense. You're like, okay, these dudes can move. They give a lot of effort in zone, but you know what? You never saw it. You never saw it, so you can't judge it. You can't quantify it.
Right.
It's like when Richard Sherman was the best corner in the league, and then he had to guard Odell Beckham. And cover three, Odell Beckham is 180 yards per game receiver against cover three. Seattle plays cover three. Richard Sherman now has to cover this dude, and you're like, holy crap. Richard Sherman ain't really that good. He just a cover three corner. This dude is not Revis, right? And and when you force like a defense to do other stuff, or you add other elements to it. Now, I'm not saying that Cat is Mutombo, right? Because I saw Mutombo in zone in Houston. Like, remember when Fritz, you remember when you first got the opportunity to play a little bit of zone? Man, Mutombo was so undisciplined in zone. Mutombo's not a zone defender. He's a man defender, right? You like, yo, how they getting dunks at the rim? Well, Mutombo followed his man all the way out to the three-point line. Mutombo, you can't do that, bro. We in a zone. That's what the zone is for. But Coach, I just wanted to add that thing to that because I think the next coach may add other elements to accentuate what Brunson and Cat can do defensively.
Right. Well, you have to. And that's when you have two guys that are probably the top three best players at their position offensively in the league, it's something you got to figure out on the other side. Like if they mean too much on the other side to like just, like you can't. That's why I love Josh Hart's hustle. That's why you can't have someone like Josh Hart with them too, because his defense, when that's one of the things he's supposed to, because he can't shoot and do the other things offensively we need him to do. The least we can do is count on him on defense, but we can't even count on that with him. Right. So you can hide two guys that are that good offensively, but you can't hide three that doesn't provide anything else for you. So that's where scheme, the right coach that's willing to adapt to what they have, that it's the whole forcing a round peg into a square hole and vice versa. Like you forcing something on a group that ain't built for that. That's the definition of bad coaching. Like it doesn't make him a bad coach in general, but that's a bad coaching decision when you're not reflecting and looking at what you have and putting your players in the best position to succeed. And it's not like Cat was this new player that he didn't know about. He had a few seasons with him already. So Tibbs of all people should have already known how late he got him or not in the offseason. He should be that much of a film rat and a smart head coach that he's got something in his bag of tricks to have a defense that fits our personnel. So,
I think he does. I think he knows that stuff, Coach.
I know.
It's just in the moment, man. He like.
I know. But
in the moment, his strategy is play harder. Play harder.
So to kind of tickle the part you were talking about with the talent of the roster, all this stuff. Do you mind if I ask a financial question to Fritz when it comes to this?
I don't care.
Sure.
Hey, as long as we're not borrowing money, Fritz, can I borrow 50?
So, yeah, besides that.
We're going to make that a payday loan.
Now, I know why we might.
15,000% interest.
I know why we might hesitate doing this for Precious at first, but the rest of the team besides McCullough, if we release all those cap holds and renounce the rights on all of them, including Precious, and we only re-signed McCullough out of our whole bench. From what I saw, it looks like we become 11.5 million under the second apron, and we're only 365,000 over the first apron. Is that
that's
so? How does that
but
cap hold and renounce right thing work? Like, is that something that we would hesitate doing with Precious because there might be an opportunity to do a sign and trade with him first, where the money matches with another team? You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think if they use Precious, they can still renounce him,
Right.
and then sign him back.
Right.
Yeah. It's not a big deal.
How does the mid-level? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so we have a trade exception. We don't have like some of the larger ones, so we have a 5.7.
Right.
We stay where we're at. We have a 5.7, and the rest are minimums, like
vet minimums.
Like, so if people think, oh, if you just cut $3 million salary, you can make that 5.7, 8.7. No, you have a 5.7. And plus, you just have minimums after that.
That's why they call it
the only other. So the only other way you can get other exceptions is if you did a lopsided trade, and we sent somebody a lot of money, and they sent us a little back. That gap, they give you an exception. So,
because there's a chance that might happen, because I hate to say this, because I'm a fan of him. It's not that I don't like him or want him here. But Josh Hart's talent compared to some of the other guys that are making a lot less than him, like, doesn't match his salary right now. Compared to like, because like there's some young guys that are still tickling like the edge of their rookie deal, stuff like that. That might be a better talent-wise fit for our team than Josh, but they make significantly less than Josh.
How though? I got to stand up for Josh. How are they better?
Well, Jabari Smith. Would you consider him a better fit to our roster?
No,
he only makes 10 million.
But also but he's actually, Houston's not going to trade him for.
But that's not what he asked.
I'm just giving an example of what he's making.
He asked me if Jabari Smith is a better fit for the roster. That was the question that was asked. Not if Houston will trade him.
If we're going to start, if we wanted to start Cat still at center, Jabari makes sense at power forward.
In my opinion, I would go the opposite way. I would say if we're talking about because here's the thing: is Jabari Smith the best player on his roster? Right? Is for what you're going to pay in extension money? Right? Because Jabari Smith is going to get his rookie max extension. He's going to get it. And the dollar amount he makes right now is going to be so much greater than what Josh Hart makes. It might be close to time and a half. Like Jabari is probably going to get somewhere in the $35 to $37 million range on his rookie max extension, maybe greater. And Josh Hart will be coming to the end of a 20 mil per year type deal, right? And so if you look at it in those terms, do you trade Josh for that? Thank you. Is that for me? Yes. You gonna say hey to everybody? They can't see you.
Hello, everybody.
God, him is low. Get your
All right.
Okay. So we're having a Bahamas versus Haiti argument in here.
Anyway, so my point really for saying.
But let me finish this thing real quick.
All right,
The thing is with Josh is Josh offers you different things on different nights. Is Jabari Smith ever going to give you 10 assists a game? No, because his ball handling is not there. Is Jabari Smith going to give you 10 rebounds a night every night, 9 rebounds a night every night? No, even at 6'10", 6'11", he's not going to out rebound Josh Hart. Right now, his defense, and his 3-point potential is intriguing for a guy that young and so offensively skilled. But with all that offensive skill, is he a scorer? No.
Not
so
yet.
it leads you to the, and that's the thing. Generally, when you enter the league as a scorer first, and all the other stuff has to come and develop. So if you're asking me, Jabari Smith or Josh, I'm going to say no, just off of one fact. How many triple doubles does Jabari Smith have?
How many minutes does Jabari Smith play? That's what we got. The next conversation you have to talk about.
Yeah,
Jabari Smith didn't play that many minutes like Josh played.
Right, but coach, if he's not playing that many minutes for his own team that drafted him number 2 or number 3, how do we assume he's going to come here?
I'm not saying more minutes. Okay, like I said, we over elaborated on the point I was really trying to make. This is what I was trying to avoid, but you told me to stop. Let me finish.
I didn't tell you to stop.
What I'm saying, I was only using Jabari Smith as an example.
Okay.
So you prove my point that Jabari Smith technically is going to get a lot more money on his extension, blah, 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 because of his talent and all this, and his worth to his team or whatever. The point I'm trying to make is it doesn't have to be Jabari Smith. You can player X. I was just putting out a name. There's a lot of players like Jabari Smith. I'll use Kobe White as another example. He's only making $12 million next year. If we trade Josh Hart for Kobe White, that's $7 million difference. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if the Bulls can take on $7 extra million. I don't think they can. They might actually.
Probably there's gonna be competition for Kobe White, and he's gonna go
right. So, but the point I'm trying to make is what you're talking about. A lot of people are here in the panel and on chat, are going off of these aren't guys I'm chasing or wanting instead of, or will be a better fit in general. The point I'm trying to get at, there are players out there that make less that might be a better fit at the 4 for us than Josh is right now. Like one of the kind of mock trades in my head I was thinking of is like Rui Hachimura and Dalton Connect, for Hart and McBride. The money matches on both of those. There's like a lot of things out there, like that. And it's something that we have to consider. And the only reason why I was saying Jabari might be something to think about is because I thought they were more into Tari Eason than Jabari Smith. They got a lot of guys that are built like that. They can't pay them all. They have a situation like the Thunder are going to have. The Thunder can't pay all that roster in the next couple of years.
Thunder's just going to cycle it again. But
I
think what Houston has some of those young guys, and I don't think they're going to be exchanging them for people like Josh Hart. They're going to be exchanging them for a star player. They want to put like Jabari in a star trade. They want to put Cam Whitmore in a star trade.
The whole rumor with Durant that Jabari Smith's part of that package.
Yeah, and there are other things that they don't want to give up. Like they're not giving up Tari Eason. They're not giving up. Not even for KD, they wouldn't give it up.
Right,
Tari Eason.
And what's crazy is when you're looking for a power forward type in the league, Freezy's talked about this before in the past, like we both have. that's there's no such thing anymore. Like,
No.
and how you know this is you go
It's
down the
big
line.
wings, yeah.
Yeah, you're looking for, just try to look on some rosters on these, just for fun. I've been doing a lot of this trade machine stuff, looking for, and in my search for a starting power forward, quote unquote, it's hard to find, one that fits the mold of a power forward. It's either they're make huge money or they're not ready yet, or something, or they're really
Yeah.
jumbo wings,
I can solve the issue right now, and it's easy. It's an easy fix. Bring back Precious.
Yeah.
Bring back Precious. Keep Mitch healthy. Your big rotation is Cat, Precious, and Mitch. On your bench, go get a certified bucket getter off the bench. Right? It solves
But once you
everything. Hold on.
But once you bring Precious,
Okay. Okay. Go ahead, Fred. Yeah.
once you get Precious, you can't get a certified bucket getter because you spent everything. You just spent everything. Yeah.
Not
You you mean in free agency, right?
Yeah, but you trade Josh.
Yeah.
For that. That's what he means.
Yeah. Hello.
He knows Fritz. He knows that too.
Right. We know this already. Yeah. The calculator guys say this all the time. We don't have any money. I understand that, bro. I understand that. But the thing is with the calculator guys, I want them to realize is y'all are not the smartest people to ever walk the earth. There are other smart people too, including these front offices that will pull off a trade for the player that they want. I know this. I think I'm the number one chief rocker. And then I see trades get done all the time. And I'm like, wow, I never thought that would happen. Like Desmond Bain for the little bit of stuff. I mean, for the big haul Orlando gave up for Desmond Bain, I would have never thought that would have happened. But Orlando clearly valued him more than random basketball fans see his value being.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's no disrespect for us to speculate and all that stuff, but you never know what these front offices are thinking. You don't know what they value. What I'm saying is the goal is bring back Precious, go get you a certified bucket getter, right? And they are out there; they're everywhere. Charlotte has one on their bench, right? Trey Iverson. What's his name? Y'all know the guy I'm talking about. Trey Mann, yeah. He's a certified bucket getter on Charlotte's bench, and you might be able to use whatever to get him, right? But the key to fixing a roster is having a 3 big rotation that's healthy. Yo, Corey Lee is in the building. Salute.
Corey Lee, salute.
The thing is, the fix is a 3 big rotation that's healthy, understanding that Ariel Hukporty and James Najee will be competing in training camp for the 4th big. And then get you a big point guard, a big bucket getter like Trey Mann to be the guy that will fit in next to Brunson at times and be your scorer off the bench. That's what I'm saying. And then with the mindset of Kev McCullough, Pacom Dadier, and Tyler Kolek all developing, and then that way in the draft, all you have to do is go draft at 50, whatever we draft at. Just draft a big defensive wing, a big developmental defensive wing that can come in and backfill the back end of the roster. Fritz, can we trade PJ Tucker?
Yes.
You have to pick up his option, right? First.
Yeah, you have to pick up his option. So that'll take 3. Yeah.
0.9
to
3.7 million.
Yeah.
So for me, I've been thinking about Malik Monk. Imagine him in the. off the
and
bench.
he's going to get big money.
You think that
he's like
but
one of the best 3-point. Yeah, he had one of the best 3-point shooters in the NBA this year.
So,
and also
who's gonna pay him?
And also Detroit got like $50 million, and that's the team he's on.
I mean, he's Malik Monk's not on Detroit. He's on Sacramento.
I'm sorry. What I'm thinking of, what you call it? Oh yeah, Malik Monk.
You're
Sacramento.
thinking of Beasley. Yeah,
Beasley.
Yeah, that's what you were thinking of. Oh, Malik Monk's already made $18 million. Like that's what I'm saying. Him and Josh's like salaries match. You know.
Yeah, but I think I gotta check, but I think he's expiring.
Yeah, he's got 1 year left, I think, on the deal.
Yeah, he's expiring.
See, this is what I'm talking about. You go around the league and look at guys that make anywhere from 15 to 20 million, like Josh are. You start to reassess what you think you have in Josh. Like that's the point of like Freezy. Like you say the things like, oh, you can give you someone so many assists a night, someone so many rebounds, but a lot of those assist and rebound numbers are minutes. Like he's in the game so long, he's gonna acquire those things. Yes, does he rebound a lot more higher clip than? Of course he does, and that's due to his hustle and all that stuff. I get that, but
yeah, he's 2+1.
He's a liability in other things because of his size. Like if he's doing those things at the shooting guard position, what that his size dictates he should be, and he does the shooting part like shooting guards do, then hell yeah, he's worth every cent, you know. But he was used and was doing power forward things for Thibodeau, and it was a liability on the other side of the court because of it. You know?
Right.
But I think Josh has a lot of value for other teams as well. I think his style will fit in to some other teams. And like I said, this isn't part of the blowing up thing. I'm not trying to blow things up or like, to me, you can't get something for nothing. Like everyone wants, like, oh, I want friggin' Walker Kessler for a washing machine, you know? Like we can't, like we gotta get.
You talking about a Kenmore? A Kenmore, hell yeah.
You know, it's like we have to give up something of worth to get something of worth. You know, it's like, oh, just throw 3 second-round picks at so-and-so. They'll give us DeJounte Murray, you know? I mean, come on, you can't, like, you know, you can't. So to me, I really think now if we keep Josh and Mitch and Deuce, then yes, we're going to be relegated to either being okay with re-signing Precious, or we're going to have to sign some vet minimum guys and use the mid-level trade exception on someone like Gary Trent Jr. or someone that played for the minimum last year.
Yeah, Gary Trent ain't coming.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like Gary Trent is thinking he's going to get like 10 mil from somebody, which someone might be able to pay him that.
50.
Yeah.
He held out for 2 years, 50 last time.
Yeah.
And that's why he signed for the minimum.
But he signed for the minimum for the Bucks last year. So I'm not saying we're going to get that lucky and get him for that either. But I think there might be a couple guys out there. Like, luckily, the Knicks have positioned themselves in a manner that we have some tiebreakers right now. Because I know some players were hesitant to come here because of Tibbs. For like, who the hell wants to play? Who the hell wants to come to the Knicks and be on the bench when they know Tom Thibodeau's the coach? And they ain't going to play. Hell no. I wouldn't want to be a bench player and play for Tibbs knowing he don't use the damn bench. Think about it. So that's another thing. That's now we're going to have a new coach. Someone that's going to be more willing to use all of our talent. And that might be a tiebreaker for some.
All right. So let me. I'm trying to follow along. So what we're talking about now is the possibility of improving the roster, right? That's Fritz. That's where we're at, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what I would mention is I don't know how to improve the roster until I know who the coach is. But based on the current roster, I think we're supremely talented.
Yep.
Right. I think Deuce is talented, Mitch is talented, Josh is talented. I think we have talented young players on the bench. What I would consider doing, and then I know this is not going to be the popular opinion, I would consider combining some of those rookie contracts, Porty, Tyler Kolek, Pacom Dadier, and others, and getting maybe one hotshot rookie, right? And then using the money saved to maybe add to combine to add to a certified bucket getter. And what I mean by that is if Charlotte would do this, would I trade Trey Mann and T-John Salon for the guys that I just mentioned and maybe some picks and one of those veterans I just mentioned? Yeah, I would consider that because it gives you a prospect power forward. It gives you a certified bucket getter off the bench because T-John Salon, in theory, is going to be the guy that Coach just mentioned in Jabari Smith, right? That's what he looks like at the moment. A defender, a 6'9", 6'10", I don't know, 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", however tall T-John Salon is, right? Athletic guy, and part of the French invasion that is going to be the guy that's going to be the do-it-all new wave guy, right? I would consider that, and y'all know, for me to even say that, knowing how much I love Pacom Dadier, this is about critical basketball theory and not about heartstrings.
Right.
You mean trading?
Or is Pacom Dadier that guy, and then you just trade the other guys?
Yeah. Like I'm sure. I think that the front office is going to show us how much they believe. Well, look, let's face it. I think the front office, this group of rookies, and when I say this group, Kolek, Porty, Dadier, and McCullough, obviously they believed in them enough to add them to a team that they knew. They believed in them enough that they knew Tom Thibodeau wasn't going to use them. So now that he's not here, the moves they make or lack thereof is going to tell us how much they really believe in them rookies' talent.
Okay.
They're just a theory,
I so, or they would have pumped it.
Who knew Aaron Wiggins was going to be that good off the bench for them as a rookie? When he came, his rookie year.
But you don't know. That's why you give him a try. Give him a chance.
Exactly. That's like Pacom Dadier might have done the same thing.
I think the kid has. I think right now his floor is Landry Shamet. Right. Like I felt like that all season. Like, why are you playing Landry Shamet when you could have been playing Pacom Dadier if you're Tom Thibodeau?
Yeah.
Right. And so yeah, I don't know. But that's water under the bridge, bro. There's nothing I can do.
Yeah. Like that, and that's just it. Even the higher level teams, the other playoff level teams played young guys throughout the season, to see what they had. And some of them showed enough to play once in a while.
Right.
I now we finally have a chance to have a coach to do the thing with all the questions we've always had, the old IQ questions and the deuce questions and the OB question, the old playing the kids questions. Now we're gonna have, assuming the new coach does this, you would think that's one of the things in the interviews they're going to talk about. Hey, look, we feel like we brought in some good young talent. He would like you to get a good hard look at a couple of them to shore up the back end of this roster. That's going to be one of the things we're going to need you to do. That's what I would do as a front office guy. And I'm sure. And the thing is, you would think you shouldn't have to say that as a front office guy. That's an assumption. In a league where you only get 2 rounds, all these guys are good. I mean, look at our best player. He's a second rounder. Look at the best player in the league right now. He's a second rounder. So you got to give these guys a chance. We have guys like that on our team. We're sitting here looking for another ball handler. Maybe we got one on the team already with Kolek.
I think it's valuable.
We're sitting here looking for 2 long, athletic wings to throw in the mix. Well, newsflash, we got Dottie and McCullough. You have a third viable wing. A third viable big man to be in the rotation up forward. Maybe, but because of what happened this past year, they're a year behind on their development now. So that's why this offseason's huge for us if we're going to run with these young guys. And we all saw. I think we were all excited about Huck Porty when he was given some chances before he got hurt. I was surprised. Tibbs actually gave him a chance. I guess he didn't have a choice because of injury. Mitch wasn't back yet.
Yeah, I don't think he had a choice at all. I think they were trying to see if they could trade.
Sims.
If they could trade Sims, if it would fall apart if Sims.
Rich know he wanted to say Mitch. Rich know he wanted to say Mitch. Just.
Oh no, yeah. Mitch is gone in my mind. Like seriously, he's gone. In my mind. And I like Mitch.
Well, everyone knows I've been one of the biggest.
And I'm a big supporter. Like I'm a big supporter.
I'm not. I've been a Mitch, like holding Mitch to the fire kind of guy, and it's never been about his talent or what he brings to the table. It's about his, even now, I'm ecstatic what he did in the playoffs. But he played 11 games in the regular season and some playoffs, and we're already wanting to get rid of Cat and insert him as a starting center for a whole season.
No, we don't. No, who said that?
No.
We as a fan base,
No, as a fan base,
it's hypothetical. I'm just jokingly saying it.
But
to the Mitch Hivers,
the fan base, they're like, oh no, he's gonna be our starting center all season. I'm like, really?
No.
Like you can just assume. But my personal feeling is that you have to either he has to be a 30-minute player every night, or you're gonna have to trade him because his value is too high. It's too high for what you get, because you're gonna have to give him an extension. Like, this is the year he's gonna want his extension this summer. You don't go through the year and then wait till next year and try to work that out. No,
Right.
huh?
Nah.
So you give 20 million a year to Mitch, 3 years, 60.
Yep.
Right now.
Easy. I would do 3 years, 75.
Oh God, Ivory 10. Every time Mitch gets brought up, Ivory 10?
Oh no!
There we go.
Ivory 10 is in the chat. Oh,
Here we
you
go.
should have never had said Mitchell Robinson's name 3 times, bro. You said Mitch's name 3 times, and Ivory 10 show up. God,
The Candy Man, bro. Candy Man.
Y'all said Mitch's name 3 times.
What's up, Ivory?
His head did the 360 or something.
My thing is, the thing is with Mitch, I would do this. Not only am I letting him play out the whole year and then paying him, right? I'm gonna say it with a smile on my face, like, nah, Mitch, no, just not the year. Dog, listen, trust me, at the end of next year, we're gonna sit down and we're gonna go over the bread, bro. You know, we're not gonna do you dirty. You know how much we value you, right? And so, but the thing is, you know, that motivates Mitchell Robinson to stay healthy all year.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, the thing is if you give Mitch that money and he walk off the floor.
Yeah, exactly. And
Bro,
look,
I can't. That's why I wouldn't.
As much as I love and I've been I hate the term, but cat apologist or whatever. Trust me, I'm definitely holding Cat accountable. Cat needs to get in better shape. He needs to trim up a little bit, you know, because we need him to be 100%. You know, Cat don't get a pass either. Don't get me wrong.
No, nobody's.
You know, no one does.
Jalen Brunson need to get his funky self in shape.
Yeah, exactly. So but we got to rewind and think about this. Every top center in the league, there ain't many centers. Cat, I think, was in the top 3 or top 5 in minutes. It's at the starting center position in the league last year.
Yeah.
You ain't supposed to play your centers that much.
No.
I mean, look at Gobert. He wasn't even in the game half the time in that series. Look at iHeart. You're taking him out all the time.
So what's the point we getting at? The point that we're getting at is that Mitchell Robinson is.
We have the luxury of having we have one all NBA center, and we have another center that 75% of the league would love to say he's their starting center. I think so. That luxury, unfortunately, comes with a price that we've talked about this before. Even if Mitch stays at the salary he's at now, not many teams tie up, because Cat's going to be making $57 million here soon.
Let me do, Coach. Let me do this. I got 2 things I want to say real quick.
Yeah.
Kerry Cox said. And Jenna, I try to stay out of the chat because we have the conversation here. Yeah. But I just want to point this out, just for the sake of a reality check. The Cat for Giannis thing is never going to happen, and the reason why it's never going to happen is because you can't trade Cat for Giannis. You can on paper, but if you're Milwaukee, it costs the accounts enough for potentially the greatest player in your franchise's history. I know they had Kareem, but they had Kareem in the early years. They had Lou Alcindor, right? In order for you to get Giannis, you're going to have to trade Cat, OG, Bridges.
I don't know about that.
Brooks, all this. You're going to have, Coach, here's the reason why I say, which one of those guys individually is as good as Giannis?
Oh, none of them.
None of them. So you're going to have to put a package together to motivate Milwaukee to trade Giannis.
Right.
Well, while we're talking about trade for Giannis, Giannis is on vacation. He ain't worried about going nowhere.
And he's still got 2 years on his contract. It ain't like it's his last year.
Right. And here's the other thing too. Milwaukee, when they trade you Giannis, in order to account for the money that they're taking, they're going to give you all of their terrible contracts. All of them. All the bad contracts that they have on the books right now, you getting all of that. You getting Damian Lillard probably coming back off a torn AC. You getting all of that in the Giannis deal. Because if they're going to reset, they want to reset with a purpose. They're not just going to do a Giannis deal, right? So you're giving up Bridges, OG, and Cat. You're going to get probably Dame on a torn ACL, who was already slowing down, right? And so you're going to have Dame's terrible contract. You're going to get Giannis, but then what do you put around Giannis? You're going to have Brunson, Josh Hart, and Giannis. Is that a championship? No. So not only do you have to consider all these things, you're going to have to consider what I'm spending versus what I'm getting, and then how do I improve the roster around what I got, right? And so when you look at that, you're like, is Milwaukee going to do this with the Knicks? If New York, now here's the thing, motivated parties can get anything done. It's like when you're in the mall and you see a couple together and you like, how in the world are they a couple? Coach, you ever seen like the ugliest dude in your life and the finest chick in your life walking through the mall holding hands? And you're like, how in the world did that happen? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So motivated parties to do what they want to do, right? The thing is, if you're the Knicks, why would you trade all of that for Giannis, knowing you're going to get Giannis and Dame and a whole bunch of parts Milwaukee don't want, plus whatever draft picks you have that are available to you, those are going to go, and probably Tyler Kolek, Ariel Horty, and Pacom Dadier. And so your roster is going to look like Dame, Giannis, Brunson, Deuce, Mitch, and Josh Hart. How does that make you better?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
We're not an ideal team. Like an ideal team that can keep a deal small is a team that has a whole bunch of young players on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they could do a trade where only Giannis is going their way, is because they got a lot of up and coming players, they got a lot of picks, that kind of stuff. For us, we don't got that. So like they're gonna make it big and ugly. They're gonna make it big and ugly.
And for a long time. See, because the young teams that Prince mentioned, like they have that window of like 2 to 5 years because they have lottery picks that probably popped, right? So they have that young talent, but generally those teams have a ton of draft picks because they suck, right? But you trade, they have that little window before all those players get good and start signing their rookie max extensions. Because once they start signing those rookie max extensions, that window starts to shrink every year that you sign one of those players to, the bread, right? But if you're in New York, why would you trade for Giannis, right? And trade away all the stuff that you accumulated? Milwaukee's not going to give you picks because in theory, they're rebooting. Like they're basically like the Dallas Mavericks right now. They're a trade hub. They only carry veterans because they're looking for somebody to offload, because the guy that they're coming in, the young core that they're about to put together with Derek Lively and Cooper Flagg are going to be the future of Dallas Mavericks basketball, right? And that's not us. It's the window that Oklahoma City used to be in when Chris Paul was there, right? You could trade away. They could take on a Paul George and trade, all these type, they acquire picks, send picks, all this type stuff, right? And in theory, and the same time for OKC, they traded what they traded for Paul George was nothing. They traded Sabonis and Victor Oladipo for Paul George, and maybe I think a pick or two or something crazy like that. But what they got in return for trading away Paul George is the mortgage to the LA Clippers. And so if you're the Knicks, and if you're a Knicks fan, saying Giannis's name is cool, right? It's cool. But what you have to pay for a top 10 player of all time from a team that was in the Eastern Conference Finals is going to be bananas.
Yeah.
And is this Knicks team ready to gut an Eastern Conference finalist for a player that was on a team that lost in the first round?
All right. Look what teams are giving. Look what Minnesota gave to get Gobert. Look what the Knicks gave to get Bridges. Look at what Orlando just gave to get Desmond Bane. What do you think Giannis needs to get?
50 first-round picks, bro.
Exactly.
In 100 pick swaps.
Yeah.
No team in the league has enough draft capital, period.
For Giannis?
No one does.
Yeah.
You gotta have a player that's already an all-star plus have 6-7 picks.
Yeah.
To give away.
Say an example of a team that could. Detroit, right?
Yeah.
Detroit picks up the phone. Hey, man, how much is Giannis? Well, we're starting with Cade, Asar Thompson. So wait. You want Cade, Asar Thompson, Jalen Duren, all your next 20 first round picks. We want 20 picks. Why? And you're like, damn, well, if I bring Giannis here,
and what's the set? Starting over again anyway.
And from scratch with a dude that's going to be 30 or 31.
This is why the league did what they did with the CBA and the aprons and the money. They're avoiding this crap now. You can't do it anymore.
Right.
You just can't do it. With the Knicks, we don't understand how lucky the Knicks are. Like, we are not set up to get a team like this. We got lucky when we got them when we did.
Yeah.
Because you cannot assemble the talent we have together right now anywhere else unless you draft them and they turn into these players. We got lucky the way we acquired them, to be honest with you.
Fritz, let me ask you this. If Milwaukee calls and says, hey, I hear you interested in Giannis, when does your trade start? The offer. Where's your offer?
OG, Mikal, Pacom, Kolek, and pretty much almost every pick we have.
I wouldn't even do that for Cat, bro. If you offered me for Cat, I hang up my. I would not only would I hang it up, I would throw it out the window, send the janitor to downstairs to sweep up the pieces, and have him.
That's what we have.
Incinerator. I would tell him to put those ashes on a rocket and send it to the sun. And then when it gets to the sun, I would say have it go nuclear. There's no.
Yeah.
I feel you. No disrespect.
Yeah. No. That's basically what we have. And then what Houston enters your chat, and Houston goes, and then they'll blow you out of the water. Like then. Yeah.
Like think about how we got what we got here. Okay. The first part of it, the OG part, we had two young guys that we drafted that actually developed into some talent.
Right.
And they had some worth. And we had all them picks and some of them other deals we had. That's how we got Bridges. So, and then with Cat, we were luckily able to flip Randall. We had signed Randall.
Was that not a great trade?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the only way we got OG is because Toronto didn't want to pay him and Scotty at the same time. So
Toronto.
It's them not wanting to pay OG is the reason why we got him. Not because they really wanted our guys. They just didn't want to pay OG.
But there's situations like that. See, this is the thing that a lot of people, and you of all people should know this, Fritz, because you're an economy guy. There's so many guys on other rosters, and when I put out a young name, I don't just pick it out of a hat. I look at their roster and I see, holy crap, they have like 4 wings on their team. They're not playing all these guys. They can't pay all 4 guys. So that's what makes someone expendable. That's why everyone's talking about Toronto, right? Like, oh, look at that, they're getting rid of RJ already. The only reason why they're doing that because Grady Dick, Brandon Ingram, and Scotty Barnes. Like, they're gonna have to pay Grady Dick some more money soon. They're just choosing to roll with those three guys. They can't pay RJ. They can't keep paying him what they're paying him. So they have to try to move him, even though he had a great year. Like, he had a great year.
I think Toronto's a grease fire. They need to get rid of their team president. Right?
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah, I know, because he brings a level of. He bought them a championship, right? But the thing is, they traded OG because they were looking to move Pascal Siakam. I think they moved Siakam first, right? To Indiana, or did they trade OG first and then trade Siakam? Either way, it happened in the same year, right?
Yeah.
So the whole thing is, if you're not building around Pascal Siakam and OG Anunoby, who are you building around? Scotty Barnes? If you're building around Scotty Barnes, you need to be fired, right? Scotty Barnes is blah 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 blah. I don't even get, but here's the thing. Here's the thing with the Knicks. If you're considering a Giannis trade, you have to consider trading Jalen Brunson, right? And if you're not considering trading Jalen Brunson, because the thing is it's not that I dislike Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is your most valuable asset. And if you're trading for another team's most valuable asset, of course they're going to want your most valuable asset, right? You're not going to call a team and say, hey, let me get your best player for scrap parts I have laying on. No, hell no.
Like,
it don't make sense. Right? And Fritz, does that make sense? And I'm not talking about the calculator, bro. I'm talking about assets, right? If I came to you and said, hey man, hey, let me get that Maybach that you have for a few of these Honda Accords that I have. Now they're limited edition Honda Accords, or even a Mercedes. Like, hey man, I have a couple of Mercedes here, man. I could trade for that Maybach that you have. Like, hey,
great
man,
condition.
Nah, I'm good. Because one is worth $500,000, and you want to trade me 4 that are worth $100,000. Nah, I'm good. I'll pass. On that, some stuff it just doesn't make sense in theory, right? Now, can two motivated parties get a deal done if they want to? Sure. Has it happened before? Sure. You'll probably see it when you go to the mall today, right? You'll, hey, how did that happen? Whatever, how did Rebecca and Jimmy get together? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
She married. She go with Jimmy. That motherfucker got ketchup packets in his pocket. Hey, Chat, be careful of a grown man that walk around with ketchup packets and paper clips in his pocket. I mean, he broke.
And he's out on the way to Let's Make a Deal, the show. Man, I used to go to that. Let me see if you have this in your purse. I'll give you $100.
Right.
Give me a matchbook.
Monty Hall, right?
Yeah. So, Fritz, what teams in the NBA right now would you say are having even if it's a mini one, like a fire sale?
There aren't any. There's some you could. There are no fire sales in the NBA right now. Nobody's dumping their roster.
All right. So, what teams are more willing than others to give away a couple of guys right now that are probably on the last year of their contract? Like, I know the Bulls have been murmuring. Because right now they're, what are they, 53 million under the? They're 53 million under the cap right now, the first apron, aren't they? From what I see.
Yeah, but they have to pay. They have to pay what you call it. Giddey is probably going to make 30 million a year.
Yeah. But so that's why when you have Giddey, who is point guard, combo guard, whatever guard, you look at a team that's got, they have Kobe White, they got Lonzo Ball. That's why those two guys become expendable, Like a lot of times people throw out names of guys like, who are cemented in their team. Like, why are they going to get rid of so-and-so when they only got two guards on the whole damn team, Oh, we could just give him Josh Hart and they'll just take him from us. They have to have an overflow of a position to be willing to get rid of somebody.
I have a team. I think the Dallas Mavericks are that team that you just mentioned. I think, and I know it's going to sound like I'm trying to create something that's not there, but generally teams that have the number one pick, the smart teams pick one direction and don't have dual timelines.
Right.
When you have dual timelines, you either ruin the veterans or you ruin the rookie that you drafted.
Right.
I think they're going to try it. But it don't work.
Yeah.
The only team that I've seen that's successfully done a dual timeline is San Antonio.
Spurs, yeah.
Spurs,
but with their dual timeline, they didn't bring in a guy. They didn't develop a guy to be the franchise. They brought in the guy to be a role player. Remember, they brought in Kawhi, right? Kawhi wasn't the number one pick.
Yeah.
Right. They also brought in Tim Duncan with the number one pick, but Tim Duncan was a perfect fit for that era because San Antonio needed the big for David Robinson, who was actually getting older. So he was like, the
only reason they got the pick was David Robinson was injured the year before.
Yeah. And the year before that, he won the scoring title, I think. Right?
Yeah.
He won the scoring title the year before, came back, he got Karl Malone, elbowed him, and he got a concussion and a knee injury on the same play. Right? And he missed a whole bunch of games trying to get back, couldn't. Meanwhile, Boston was tanking Boston was in tank-a-thon mode, and I think the league punished them for tanking outwardly. Remember Boston had 3 shots at the number one pick. They had 3 chances in the top 5. And they wound up picking. They got good players, but they really wanted Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan should have been a Celtic, by the way. But anyways, in Dallas's case, so just to the point that coach is making, Coach, I brought that up to bring up the point that you mentioned about Chicago. From what I hear and what I read, the Chicago Bulls are in love with 2 NBA players, and y'all already know what 2 they are. Jalen Brunson and Anthony Davis. Like how we talk about Giannis, they talk about Jalen Brunson and Anthony Davis, right? Yeah. They can't get Jalen Brunson. He's busy doing stuff right now. But Anthony Davis, though, is in a situation where can you build a championship contender around Anthony Davis? Right? That's a very tricky question. And it has a very nuanced answer because in order to build around Anthony Davis with Kyrie Irving out for the year, essentially, you may have to trade the number 1 overall pick to get the requisite parts to build around Anthony Davis, who on any given moment can go out with an injury. Mm-hmm. And then what have you done? You missed out on Cooper Flagg. Anthony Davis is hurt, and now you have bad contracts on the roster. Or you can trade Anthony Davis to Chicago, right? Jumpstart their rebuild. And then with the pieces that are there, the requisite pieces that are there, that coach are in, you might be able to pluck those pieces by trading either a veteran that fits around Anthony Davis or giving them the pieces that they can move to fit around Anthony Davis.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to swoop in and snag up Gafford from them.
From Dallas?
Yeah. Bro, he would be a perfect big man rotation for us.
Najee Marshall, bro. Did I ever tell you about my love affair with Najee Marshall?
I don't know. I don't think.
Bro, I love Najee. Bro, I love Najee Marshall, bro.
I like him too, but
no, I didn't say like, bro.
What'd you do?
I didn't say like.
That's like one of Lee's favorites. That's one of Lee's favorites.
Did you know money wise you can do Hart and Deuce for Gafford and Marshall?
Bro, yeah, they ain't trading Gafford, bro.
I know. I did.
See, that's where I think you're wrong. Look, think about it. They got Derek Lively already. They got Anthony Davis too.
Yep,
bro. There's how many fives you gonna play?
How many double-digit $1 million centers do you need? Yeah, you feel me? That's
the only reason why I'm saying Gafford might be expendable. He's on the last year of his contract.
Yeah, but not like I don't think they're looking for like role players like Josh Hart.
Nah, they're looking for draft picks to stash around Cooper Flag. But bro, I love Najee Marshall. I'm gonna get Tony Braxton a song. Get Tony Braxton to write me a song, something like "I Love Me Some Him" or something like that for how much I love Najee Marshall, bro. I love Najee Marshall, bro. He reminds me.
I like him. He's like a nice size.
Nah, bro. Yeah. Listen to me, Fritz. Listen to me, bro.
He can shoot.
I said LOVE. You know who he reminds me of, right? He reminds me of, and when I say his name, people are gonna be like, "Oh yeah." He reminds me of Anthony Mason, right?
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
He reminds me of Anthony Mason in that he's a big body dude that can do it all. Like when your point guard goes to the bench, he's like, "Hey, I play point for 2 or 3 minutes, but for 2 or 3 minutes, that's it now. Don't ask me to play point guard all night now. Now we stretching it." But he'll play you some defensive minutes at the 5. He'll switch 1 through 5. He'll facilitate on offense. Bro, I was telling IKBM Dre since I met Dre. So I met Dre like 3.5 years ago. And I was like, hey, New Orleans has a guy on that bench named Najee Marshall, bro. If I could get him and Trey Murphy, and he was like, who the hell? Najee Marshall? That don't even sound like an NBA name. That sounds like a football player name, right? It's just like a special teams player for Green Bay Packers, Najee Marshall, right? So, but yeah, man. So yeah, Najee now.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh for Najee. Bye, Josh.
Even PJ Washington, bro. He's only making.
Yeah,
he's only $14 million. Last year of his contract.
Yeah.
Because if AD's gonna play power forward, PJ Washington is just getting wasted.
Yeah. That's why, man. Anthony Davis is gone, bro. All this, man. You're not bringing PJ Washington. You gonna bring PJ Washington off the bench now?
And in the modern NBA, Cooper Flag's a 4.
Yeah, in the modern NBA, Cooper. Well,
I mean, he's a jumbo wing,
nowadays. I say jumbo wing. Yeah. But to your point, yeah.
Because he can block shots. I mean, that dude, he can play some defense.
That dude's gonna be Scottie Pippen defensive. Like, I promise. I guarantee it. I almost guarantee. Hey, if Cooper Flag is not Scottie Pippen level defense, Coach will send every subscriber on this channel $1.
Whoa. I should make that bet.
Coach, it's only $1, bro. I mean, geez, come on.
Well, it's starting to get a little more popular. I don't know.
Wait, you mean people like us? Okay.
Sometimes. I mean, that's a lot of things that people, you think people don't think the number 1 pick comes in and ain't sliding someone out of the starting lineup. I don't know what NBA y'all been watching,
bro.
But the number 1 pick plays Jack.
Bro, as soon as San Antonio got Tim Duncan, you forgot about Sean Elliott. No disrespect to Sean Elliott, because he was a fantastic player.
Yeah.
I hope Pacom Dadier becomes Sean Elliott, right? But on draft night, they were talking about the future of San Antonio Spurs basketball, Tim Duncan. And I can guarantee you, on draft night, in about a week and some change, Cooper Flag is going to be the face and future of Dallas Mavericks basketball. And everybody on the roster is going to be in his wings. And for that reason, I'm saying Anthony Davis is going to be available. probably to Chicago. Coach, would you trade for Clay and bring him off the bench?
I mean, for what Clay is making, I think he'd be great off our bench. But I think the level of what Clay's bringing offensively, though, I think there's some young guys in the league that can do what he's doing right now.
Yeah, and Clay Thompson's not coming off anybody bench, bro. That man will retire first.
Yeah, he's not
he
gonna
wasn't
do
that dude, bro.
He did. That's yeah. He ain't gonna take no disrespect. That's why he left.
I mean, Josh Hart averaged more than Clay, bro.
Yeah.
Think about it. Josh Hart averaged the same amount of points per game as Klay Thompson this year.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm very different than most people. I'm willing to take some risks at this point. Like the Knicks need an advantage. And I wouldn't even be past like starting a rookie. I'm not past it.
Can I tell you what I think the fix is?
Mm-hmm.
I think that what one move makes us the NBA champs, and I mean in a wash too. I mean, I'm talking about, man, win 60 games, no 7-game series in the playoffs, and including the finals. Dante DiVincenzo. Trading for Dante cures everything. The big guard, the three-point shooter, the defender, the chemistry, all of these things, bro. Like if you think about how Hartenstein made DiVincenzo look, right?
Mm-hmm.
And out of the pinch post, Hartenstein finding Dante DiVincenzo, right? Now think about if you upgrade Hartenstein to Cat, right? No disrespect to Hartenstein because he's a fantastic player. I met her. Fritz, my neck is Hartenstein is so tall, bro. When I looked up at him, bro, I swear, like you know how the lights in the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
I looked up and it's like that man had a halo on his head. That man's so tall, bro. Coach, that man has got to be every bit of 7'1", bro.
Yes, yeah,
and humble. Yeah. He like, Coach, we talked to him for like a few minutes. He like your little brother. Like, hey, we like, yo, like, hey man, you did your thing out there. Bro, y'all enjoyed the game? Yeah, we enjoyed the game. For real? Bro, this man took it. Coach, I ever told you he took off his sweaty arm sleeve and gave it to Jay Boogie, and Jay Boogie was like, here, hold it, or something crazy. Something like that. The story, Jay Boogie was walking around with Isaiah Hartenstein sweaty arm sleeve in Charlotte. It's great. I forget all the details, but anyway, the true story, it happened. Right. But the thing is if the Knicks can somehow finagle Dante from Minnesota, I don't know how you make that work, but motivated parties can make things work.
But yeah, if KD goes to Minnesota, which probably Suns want, but KD don't want. He might.
Last I heard, Ant like Dante there. Why would they get rid of him?
I think that's public. I just think that's public talk.
No, if Gobert's in that trade, it might need a center. So,
well, that's where Mitch goes in.
Sorry,
Ivory.
Was that y'all talking about trading Mitch for Dante?
No, KD. No, because right now the best offer for KD is Minnesota.
No, I'm talking. No, that's not what I don't.
Yeah, but if that move happens, and they need a center.
Yeah, but Mitch and get Dante and some change.
Yeah, the money matches.
Yeah, that's all I'm asking. I'm asking who are y'all trading for Dante? I don't care about all the other stuff. Like if is it? Are you saying offering Mitch for Dante? That's it.
Mitch for Dante and change.
I don't want to trade Mitch. I think Mitch Robinson should get his number retired as a Knick. unless we can get Najee Marshall, and I'll send that motherfucker right now. I'll FedEx Mitch Robinson.
What bench
Oh, no.
player has gotten their
I
number
would
retired?
not. Dallas would do that in a second.
Yeah,
Dallas
and
would do that in a
they'd
second.
be crazy too.
The only kind of player that's on, and this is given Mitch's value, the only kind of player that's worthy of being traded for Mitch is a legitimate starting shooting guard or power forward. That's the only level player I feel is worth trading Mitch for. So
I'm gonna tell y'all this: if Taylor Jenkins is the coach, Mitchell Robinson is gone.
Yeah, because
And when I say gone, I mean
gone.
Yep.
That's not his. Yeah, all of his centers have a little bit of shot in them. All of them.
Did you see what he did with Jay Huff? They made Jay Huff shoot, and come to find out, he can shoot. Right? Zach Edey, bro, they're like, hey, man, if you don't shoot this three, you ain't playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if Taylor Jenkins is the guy, Taylor Jenkins is the guy that likes to run the offense without having a ball dominant guy. Everybody touch the ball, everybody dribble, pass, and shoot, and not 5 out. Because I heard the Memphis girls say 5 out. Memphis, everybody, just because you have 5 offensive players on the floor doesn't mean it's 5 out, right? 5 out means 5 Swiss Army knives on the floor that can all dribble, pass, and shoot, two-way go. Everybody can play make.
Yeah.
Now you can run a spread offense with 5 offensive guys. That's easy. But just because you put 5 offensive guys on the floor don't mean it's 5 out. People that say that, you could tell they never played organized ball before, right? But the thing is with Taylor Jenkins wants to run an offense where they spread you out and keep the ball moving and put a constant threat on the defense and keep up a high pace where you can run the floor and all of that. And that's the reason why he's not in Memphis anymore, because Ja Morant wants to be pick and roll heavy, go get downhill, go to the basket and score, feature Ja. But Ja being featured doesn't win you a championship. They don't know that. They know that if Ja Morant gets traded, their franchise value goes down. Like who wants to watch the Memphis Grizzlies without Ja Morant? Yeah. Nobody.
But Michael Jordan being featured only got them bounced from the first round and not even making the playoffs a lot.
Right.
Like when they brought in other guys to actually help and be threats with it. Because before Scottie Pippen and Kukoc and all them guys came, Michael Jordan averaged like 38 one year, 37.
Yeah.
You know, like, and they didn't do nothing. You know, it's how many teams have we seen where there's one guy scoring like crazy?
But that's the Taylor Jenkins side of it. Now, if the Knicks hire another coach, Mitchell Robinson may be featured. We don't know. We don't know. But for the it's one of those things. I guess we'll see. I would prefer Tyronn Lue. But here's one of the other things. LI1 is in the building. What I wanted to say to everybody is there's a narrative going around in the media too, and I think it's like a desperate clickbaity narrative. Just because the Knicks inquire about a coach and ask for permission doesn't mean they're thirsty, right? And just because a franchise denies access to that coach doesn't mean that they hate the Knicks. Yeah. This is what you call a negotiating tactic, right? In order for you to talk to Tyronn Lue, I'm gonna say no. You're just not gonna come in my building and talk. I'll tell you what we could do though. If you talk to him and he agrees, you're gonna owe me draft picks. But before we get to that point, I have to tell you no, because then the coach can basically make up a public fuss and walk for free. Right. So it behooves me as a franchise to deny you first, knowing that you can appeal, basically. Deny you first, and then basically appeal it, right? And in that appellate process, like, hey, okay, you want to talk? Say the Chicago Bulls that came to us for Tom Thibodeau last year. We deny him, right? Nah, man, we gonna get rid. Chicago's like, nah, we really like Tibbs. We want to bring him home. Okay, I tell you what. If you want to talk to Tibbs that bad and he agrees to go, this is our asking price for our inconvenience. Like give us 3 first-round picks for Tom Thibodeau, and they'll be like, hell no, and then we're like, okay, all right, like 2 first-round picks and a second. Hey, what? Okay, a first and a second, and you can have Tibbs. Okay, that sounds reasonable, right? And so that's the thing with Jason Kidd in the Knicks and all these other coaches. The franchise that has the coach is going to say no because they don't want to lose that asset for free. And so then if you stay at it, like, hey, man, listen, y'all know J Kidd want to be with the Knicks, man, and we want Kidd. And they're like, well, y'all stole Brunson, right? Y'all did all these things to the franchise. I'll tell you what, give us 2 first-round picks, 1 in the medium term and 1 long term. Give us a pick in 28 and then a pick in 32, and that'll be the compensation. And you're like, shit, the pick in 32? That kid in 5th grade, I'll do that. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Coach.
No, go ahead. I'm with you. I was saying I would never trade draft picks for a coach.
Right.
Like to me, as important as I feel, to me, a coach for this team, there's only 2 routes to go here. It's either a coach that gets out of the damn way and just lets these guys play and just use all your resources to let them play, or guys that get in their way and mess it up. Like this roster, like to me, as long as it's a professional coach that has an open mind, anyone's going to be successful. That's just my honest opinion. Like Ghetto Intellect could have coached this team to the Eastern Conference Finals this year. Me and you and Fritz could have coached this team to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's how talented they are. That's just my opinion. That's not because I'm a good coach or I feel like I know anything better than Tom Thibodeau did. I think this year, did Tom Thibodeau help lesser talented teams have some success? Yeah, I think he did. But as far as this particular team, I think he undersold what we had. We did not get our maximum potential out of this team. I think this team's roster was good enough to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, no matter who coached them. The 2 mascots that were hugging in tutus in the season. Remember that?
Orlando, someone. No, not Orlando. Was it Detroit, right? The Detroit series?
Yeah. Like, and it's not this. I just think this season in particular, this team was that special what was put together. We saw this thing about our what ifs from last year's roster.
Fritz, you got to try these roll. Fritz, you like soda?
Look how good we were. We were the best team in the league in the month of January when OG came and Randall was here and all that stuff. We were on our way to being great. And unfortunately, the injuries killed us. And that hurt us the rest of the way. Even with our injuries, our roster was good enough with the talent that was left, because who was forced to play, the other guys that this front office brought in for them to use. And we still found a way to go to Game 7 with the same team that's in the finals right now. Yeah. Like, that's just what I'm saying. It's like,
yeah. I don't think I wouldn't give picks for a coach. I think when you get picks for a coach, you're looking for like a coach GM. You're looking for someone who's gonna like draft for you and do. That's when that's when you get those type of coaches. The who is it? Larry Brown. There's certain kind of coaches you would do that for. Like you don't do that for any coach,
right? Except in the case of Ime Udoka and Jason Kidd, where they just regular coaches, right?
Udoka is like the best is one of the best at it. Jason Kidd is not the best, one of the best at it.
What does Udoka have that Jason Kidd doesn't, though? NBA Finals? NBA Finals loss? Udoka lost in the finals, right? With the Celtics?
Mm-hmm.
What do either of them have that Taylor Jenkins don't have?
I like Taylor Jenkins. I like.
What do either of them have that, Johnny Bryant will have? I mean,
there's nobody currently I would give a pick for, like currently in the NBA, except Spoelstra, and he's not going anywhere.
I would legit give up draft picks for Toronto, right? Not only would I give up picks, I would be borderline ready to give up a player for Toronto. And the reason is because of all the stuff. Trust me, I have a YouTube channel with about 15,000 subscribers, right? And I hear people talk about complain about all these things, right? And all the things they complain about is exactly what Toronto does naturally, organically, right? Play his roster, develop players, be able to coach, is a player's coach, is a strategist, all these type of things. The only thing I think Toronto probably made a mistake on, and it's not a major mistake, but the Hartenstein thing I think was a mistake, right? But when you're the coach and you're strapped because you're paying Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, right? You can't also pay Hartenstein to be your backup forever, because Hartenstein and Zubac are in theory around the same age. I think they may be like 3 years apart, or 3 or 4 years apart. So both of them are young, right? And do you want to lock Hartenstein in for 4 years as your backup? Does Hartenstein want to be locked in for 4 years as a backup, right? Knowing that he has starter potential. So that's the only misstep. Would I pay first round picks for Toronto? I would borderline consider trading Deuce for him and the draft pick. Yeah. Right? I would borderline trade Mitch for him and the draft pick. Right? And not because I don't like Mitch, it's because if the chat complains a lot about certain things, and the only organic fit for what people want is Tyronn Lue. The only reason why he's not on the radar is because he has a job.
He has a job in his owner.
And his owner is not gonna wanna even deal with Dolan because of how Dolan overcharged him for the land they built the stadium. Yeah. Dolan. Okay, all right. Now that I think about it, yeah, Tyronn Lue should be off the radar because yeah, that's crazy. But yeah.
It's just funny that the season isn't even over yet technically, and everyone's worried that we don't have another head coach yet. Like there's people out there like talking about we don't have a plan.
Who's your sleeper? Who's your sleeper off the radar guy? And don't tell me Johnny Bryant because
Sam Cassell. I've been saying that.
Sam Castle. Yeah, I want Sam Castle. What do y'all want Sam Castle for? He ain't never did nothing in the league, bro.
He's been an assistant for a long time on some pretty good staffs. He was
what does that mean?
He's an NBA champion point guard. Point guards have been doing pretty good as coaches in the league. A lot of first-time head coaches have won championships.
Hey, and Fritz, you know what Coach said makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna just use part of my work background to this. You know, when people submit their resume for management to us, right? One of the things that concerns me is a person that has been the co-pilot for a long time that has never been a pilot. And so why are you asking me to be the pilot of my ship when you've been the co-pilot for a lot of different ships and a lot of different organizations for a long time? To me, that sends me a red flag. But if he can explain away the reason why he has never been, especially with the Wizards, when the Wizards job was open, and he didn't get the Wizards job after the John Wall, Bradley Beal, whatever it was that they had. Remember when they traded Otto Porter, Kelly Oubre, John Wall? Remember that when they transitioned from the Marcin Gortat era to the Bradley Beal take all the shots era? Remember that? And Sam Cassell didn't get the job, and they gave it to Wes Unseld Jr. I was like, there's something wrong with Sam Cassell that we don't know. Coach, I compare it to Eric Bieniemy. You know how Eric Bieniemy is a great coach, and he's been on a lot of staffs, and people say his name as he's been great, but he never gets the head coaching job. And you're like, there must be something with Sam Cassell, some baggage, maybe something off the radar that we don't know about.
He doesn't interview well.
That may be it. But in order to get the job, you have to interview well.
No, I know. And so, sometimes do we want someone that's a used car salesman though to be our head coach? Someone that can talk a good game in an interview, but not provide on the court. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing to me.
Well, the used car salesman, do they have the coaching resume that Sam Cassell has? Because if they have the coaching resume and they're a used car salesman, that's exactly who I want. But if they don't have any of that and they're just a used car salesman, then no, I don't want that player. I don't want that person. Because in theory, the person that you hire as your head coach is going to be the face of management to the public.
Right.
And do I want a guy that doesn't communicate with the public well? No. Right. And I believe that's the reason why Mike Woodson never got another shot to be a head coach.
Yeah, I think some of the deficiencies that Tiv has, they probably want to cover those. So you're going to have to get somebody who does well with the public and who does well.
Charismatic. Yep.
I mean,
charismatic, could talk to the players.
I was about to say, Tibbs ain't the most eloquent public speaker himself.
I know, but like usually when you have like a girl who like there's something you hated, you almost go the opposite way the next time.
Yeah.
So
and one of the Fritz, just real quick, one of the things that I think we have to take into account with Tom Thibodeau is the world was in a different era when he was hired. Tom Thibodeau is a COVID hire, right? At the time Tom Thibodeau was hired, Tibbs didn't have to get in front of the public and all that stuff. Remember the mask era, social distancing, all that stuff. He didn't have to be charismatic because there were things that this is not about his coaching, right? I'm just merely talking about the interpersonal skills. You didn't have to display perfect interpersonal skills because there were devices in place that kind of prevented us from being face to face, right? Or being close or being, you know what I'm saying? Because during that era, like you're like, okay, we're going to do this for 5 minutes, do your best questions, and then you can hurry up and get out of there before the cat got hit the hot tin roof, right? And so it's one of the, bro, you ever saw a cat on a hot tin roof? No? Nobody? Am I that old?
No, I've only heard the term.
Chat, is there anybody else in the chat 56, 57, 58, 59 years or up? I need the real crowd. I don't need no youngins. If you 56, 57, 58, 59 or up, man, throw a thumbs up in the chat. If you're a baby,
not even.
If you just turned 50, if you just turned 51, you're a baby, you know what I'm saying? Wait 5 years in order for the, no, I'm just
I thought Freezy was an unk. I said Freezy ain't an unk. He older than an unk now.
Easy.
I mean, was Sam Cassell too good of a player to be a good coach? I mean, because think about well, that's what I'm saying. Like, What are they worried about? It's not like, because besides Jason Kidd, how many, starting level championship players have became championship coaches, quality coaches?
I was going to answer your question because the reason why you asked, that's why I said it's Jason Kidd. And the reason why I asked is because Tyronn Lue and Sam Cassell, like Tyronn Lue is at the low end, Jason Kidd is at the high end, and Sam Cassell to me is in the middle.
Yeah.
In the
That's
middle,
Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr's a backup role player.
In Tyronn Lue type. Yeah.
Steve
As a player,
Nash.
I'm talking about.
Like Rick Carlisle was a bench guy.
Yeah.
Phil Jackson was a bench guy.
Scott Brooks.
Pat Riley.
Yeah.
All these dudes were never like, they don't really transfer into great great coaches, the big name guys.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is, I think there's something to that, Coach, but I always look at what type of elite player was he? Was he a microprocessor as an elite player?
Right.
Then I would say I take that guy as a coach because he thinks the game. He's not going to tell you to go out there and jump over everybody and dunk. Man, you could just jump over the crowd and dunk it. Come on, Magic Johnson, sit your ass down, Magic. Magic coming out of the break like before the screen come, man, just throw a no-look bounce pass with your off hand, anticipating the baseline cut. Magic, yeah, everybody can't do that, bro. You telling Nick Van Exel to do that? You say all that in the huddle, Magic, and Nick Van Exel gonna come out that huddle and shoot the three.
Right.
All that you said. Nick ain't gonna do none of that, bro. He ain't listen to you, bro. He gonna come out of that huddle and get that screen and shoot that three.
Yeah, because like Doc Rivers was a starter, but he wasn't like an all-star.
Yeah, he was. Especially later on when he started this. Doc Rivers, man. For people that don't know what type of player he was, Doc Rivers was like Jalen Suggs, right? Jalen Suggs to me is like Doc Rivers, a young Doc Rivers incarnate, right? Everything, balding, all that Jalen Suggs look. Jalen Suggs is going to be coaching the Knicks in 20 years. That to me, that's what Jalen Suggs looks like, right? But Coach, what I would say is what I was going to say to the point that Fritz was alluding to earlier about not paying for a guy. So if you're not going to pay for a guy, what guy can you get for free in theory? Right? Is there a guy that you would bring in for not paying for a guy? Would you bring in Mike Malone?
No. I mean, I'm good with Taylor Jenkins. I mean, I can live with Mike Brown too. Although Mike Brown's he's probably 5th or 6th on my list of, all right, I guess so. I'm not as nervous about the coach as other people are, to be honest. Yeah. I just, as long as it's not a coach that will force some old ass OG stuff on these players. I need a fresh mind coach. I don't care if he's been coaching for 10 years or no years. It just needs to be a fresh-minded, open, adaptable coach that's willing to play everybody on the roster and figure out what we got. And is going to listen to the players. That's all.
Somebody who's flexible. Yeah.
Hey, y'all up for an argument?
Okay.
Yeah. Hey,
okay.
Chris, you up for Coach? Sure. Coach, you up for me to put a Mount Everest in your crop?
Oh God, you always do. Go ahead.
All right, so this is what I want to show y'all something, right? I'm gonna show y'all something.
Is that like the question? Promise you're not gonna be mad. When you set that up to somebody. Okay, I'm gonna tell you.
Promise me. Can you promise me you're not gonna be mad?
I promise I'll be as professional as possible on my reaction. Like you said.
All right. So I'm gonna put something together. But what I want to do is ask you guys this first. I want to ask your opinion on who you want and why it fits the Knicks. Fritz, you want to start with your preferred Knicks offseason?
For who? For just coach.
for the Knicks? Your preferred offseason. What is your preferred offseason for the Knicks?
Yeah, hire Taylor Jenkins. Add a starter. So that would be. I'm willing to go bold and start a rookie. Move up to the back of the first round. And yeah. And then if I can add 2 bench pieces, that's.
Are we talking about coaches?
No, I asked for his first preferred offseason.
Oh, okay.
That's it, Frank?
Yes. Yeah, I would probably add 2 bench pieces. Trade Mitch out for 2 bench pieces.
Okay. All right. What about you, Coach?
Can you repeat the question?
What do you want to see? What's your preferred offseason? What do you want to see the Knicks do this offseason?
I want us to keep our core, what I call the core 4 of Cat, Bridges, Brunson, and OG for sure. I would like to see how the new coach implements, maybe Deuce and Mitch too. I think that Hart for me is the player version of Thibodeau at this point, with what he's represented for me. I feel he has to go. So I want to see what the new coach. I am willing to be okay to see how Mitch can play, if he can play a whole season with the new training staff. See if they can keep him healthy the whole year. Obviously, we're going to have a coach that's going to manage our minutes better, hopefully. I don't know, maybe if Hart's not relied upon as much minute-wise, but then you're looking at why pay $19 million for a 20-minute role player. So, but for me, I want to keep the core together. I would like us to bring in a coach that's willing to look at the whole picture, a whole roster. I think we need to release cap holds on everybody. The only one I am kind of willing to look at, I wouldn't mind if a new coach, Precious Achiuwa is only going to be 25 years old next season. And I think Precious has some talent. And I even think with some outside shooting development, he doesn't have an ugly shot. We've seen him shoot some threes. I think he's been coached out of that mindset. I think his talent level and his body, like his athleticism and size, he could be developed into a jumbo wing in this league. That could be, I think he's worth keeping and used properly. If no one else is, I want someone to look at Dottier, McCullough, Porty, and Kolick. Those 4 kids deserve a look. As far as another wild card for me, isn't that Chris Quinn, the assistant from Miami? He's someone I wouldn't mind. And I'm talking about under the radar guys. I don't mind. And actually, Cardiac Knicks just said it too. Even someone like James Borrego from the Pelicans, Royal Ivy from the Rockets. Who's that other guy? Micah Nori from Minnesota. I don't mind assistants getting there. Those guys have had a lot of success in this league, bro. Guys that have been assistants for a while under someone that's a really good coach. So I don't think it has to be this huge name that needs to blow it. That's that whole It's the same mentality. We switched the whole damn star chasing crap we used to do onto the coaches too now. Now we star chasing for a coach. We ain't got a star chase for a coach. They just got to be good. They just got to be, we didn't know, who Missoula was, what he was going to be. And look, he won with Boston. Not saying I want a guy like him, but just jacking up threes and whatever. But
Okay.
I want someone that, because whoever it's going to be, this team and that coach are going to instantly be legends in New York history. They're going to create a legacy here that this fan base has starved for decades. And it's something that's exciting prospect to me. I'm excited to have, I like fresh blood. I like people that are hungry to prove themselves, chips on their shoulders. That's, to me, I feel we have a team of those guys. And I think a coach in that same mindset is going to be the same, like it's going to bring that out of us.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna put a rock in your shoe.
All right.
Could I put one in first?
Yeah. Hey, Coach has a big foot, so go ahead, help yourself.
Yeah, I do. I wear size.
No, just the Chris Quinn one. Like he's locked down. What Miami kind of does is they get people prepared for roles before they get in there. So like you already have Spo getting paid like he the GM before he the GM. Now you have Chris Quinn. He's probably getting paid like he's a head coach.
Yeah.
About to become the head coach.
So
he's about
3 years, right?
But you know what I mean. Like I'm saying guys of that cloth like that.
Yeah, but he's like they made sure like he's in there and he's like locked down tight.
Yeah, they have a glide path basically. They have a hierarchy basically in place. Like Riley is going to retire. Spoelstra's going to take that job, and Chris. Every spot on that chain is going to be backfilled by a guy that they prepared already, basically. So, and the James Borrega thing, no thank. I saw what he did in Charlotte. He a disaster, bro. Yeah, he a disaster, bro.
Yeah, and like I said, those names. I was just going through some names of assistants that.
Right. No, I feel you.
He's not up on my wish list per se.
Yeah. I feel you. No, I get what you're saying. I mean, I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger just so that it'll be a rock in Coach's shoe. Let me make this just
Jared Jack.
This is what I want, everybody. If we can't pay, right, this is what I want. An offensive-minded head coach, right? Not because I like to see offense, but because I think we have an offensive roster, right? And what I'd like to do, and this is where I am, everybody. Where I am, everybody, is this. Personally, I don't think you've seen the very best of Jalen Brunson. I think Jalen Brunson was held back by Tibbs. Right? I think Jalen Brunson is probably about 45% of what his potential is. I think Cat is about 65% of what his potential is. With an offensive coach like Terry Stotts on the bench to draw up plays in game, I think you unlock. If Jalen Brunson was going for 40 in the playoffs last year against a great defense, Terry Stotts will have that man going for 55. And how I know this to be true is because I saw him do it not only with Dame, but anybody in that Damian Lillard role, right? Yeah, I remember when Dame was out, CJ McCollum and the other guy, Anthony Simons, was there. And Gary Trent Jr. stepped into the third guard role, right? When Dame and CJ were out and Anthony Simons and Gary Trent operated in that role, they all ate and got buckets. Even names going back as far as what's the guy that signed with the Brooklyn Nets back in the day from Portland? The guy, he was a 6'6" shooter. I forget his name. I guess it don't matter at this point. But the point I'm bringing up is, or the point I'm trying to make is,
Brandon Roy.
No, he was there after Roy. He was there after Roy. But the point
after
I'm making,
Kittles. Let me see. Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Alan Crabb, that's his name.
Oh, Crabb.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alan Crabb.
Or whatever.
Yeah. Even he thrived in their offensive system, right? And so the thing I'm saying is that the only reason why I prefer Jarrett Jack is because your best player is a point guard. Who else to teach a point guard or help a point guard navigate a season and a playoffs than a point guard, right? It's the reason why I like the Tyronn Lue, Jason Kidd conversation, right? Because it's one thing doing the basketball overview, but then it's another thing talking to a point guard from a point guard's perspective, right? Here's the question, though. Do I keep Rick Brunson?
You have to.
It's delicate because
You have to.
Hold on, Fritz. Hold on, man. I gave y'all time to coach. Didn't I say, hey, didn't I ask like everybody for their point?
Well, you asked
I thought it was a question.
but I understand.
I thought it was a question.
No, I'm saying this is my question. I'm saying I prefaced it that. I was like, here's my question, right? For me, do I keep Rick Brunson? My thing is, I don't know if I keep Rick Brunson. And not because of do I think Rick Brunson is a bad coach? It's do I think he's good for the overall team? Right? I think Rick Brunson, who I like and have always liked, I think he may have overstepped his bounds. And once you overstep your bounds, it's like you can't unstep it. You can apologize and get in a role, but the players that were rubbed the wrong way that are still on the roster are still going to be rubbed the wrong way. Right? So do I keep Rick and bring in another guy, which kind of, in a sense, destroys continuity because these players kind of get into a thing of knowing what to expect from Rick, but then at the same time, they know at any given moment, this dude might come talking to you like he the GM. Man, if you don't get this, and I don't know exactly what he said, but the rumors out of New York is like people felt like Rick Brunson was the head coach at times. When is it one of these things like, man, Rick rubbed players the wrong way. And listen, me and Rick Brunson are probably around the same age. How old is Rick? I'll say I'm older. I'll say I'm older than Rick Brunson, right? Anyway, it don't matter. It's the ideology. Like, I talk to guys, I'm a straight shooter and speak to people in a straight way. And sometimes it jolts people and rocks them a little bit, but they understand who I am as a person. Like, I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. It's just, I figure telling the truth in that moment is easier to swallow than me finessing and massaging somebody's minds and ego and all of that stuff. And then you not knowing how, whether you can trust me or not, right? If you be a straight shooter, just tell it how it is, then you can deal with it in that moment and understand who the messenger is, right? Like, Uncle Freezy not coming for throats. That's just how he just prefer to speak with men and women on a men and woman level, right? And not massage like, hey man, he was right. I slightly disagreed. We almost agreed in a way, in a context. Nah, either we did or we didn't, right? And so I think Rick is that same way. But the thing is, with today's athletes, you have to speak with them a certain way because they view themselves as individual corporations, right? Each one of them is their own corporation, so to speak. And you have to you can't talk to Josh the same way you talk to Cat. You definitely can't talk to Mitch the same way you talk to Brunson, right? And it's not because one person's personality is better than the other. It's just because everybody has different personalities, right? And so if you have Brett Brown and Rick Brunson, and you have two guys that do it that way, now you might start rocking the boat, creating some stuff, even though I feel like both coaches will make you better. The reason why I want to bring in Terry Stotts is ultimately, I saw Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby take and miss a lot of shots that they should have been making throughout the season. There were a lot of times, and Coach probably didn't see this. I'm just speaking for myself. I don't know if Coach saw this or not, but there were a lot of times where Mikal Bridges had shots that a regular NBA player should make, right?
Yeah.
Now, mind you, he still shot 50% from the floor for a wing player, which is excellent.
Mm-hmm.
But if we get that number closer to 54 or 55, that man averages 20 points a game, and not a lot of those close games that we played in are blowouts. If everything else is the same, and Mikal Bridges doesn't have the 2 for 14 shooting night, maybe a 7 for 14. That's a 10-point swing, maybe more. And those 8-point games, now we're up by 2 or 3. Right? Little things that a coach like an OG like Terry Stotts is going to tell you to improve your thing. And the other thing, the reason why I'm high on Brett Brown is because Brett Brown will take a guy that looks one way one season, develop him in the offseason, and he comes back the next season looking like a totally different. Get the example given. Jimmy Butler playing small ball 4 in Minnesota with Cat. Playing the 3, playing small ball 4 with Tibbs. Remember, Jimmy Butler was a shooting guard in Chicago, right? Play with Tibbs. He's a jumbo wing player, power 3. I'll say a power 3, not a power 4, right? A power 3, right? Brett Brown gets him. They move Ben Simmons off the ball, and Jimmy Butler is their de facto point guard. Right? And so you take Brett Brown and put him in place with a Mikal Bridges, a Deuce McBride, and others, if you're going to keep your roster the same. And now you have the gritty offensive, because Jarrett Jack is a gritty coach. If y'all noticed, all the teams that he coaches for, he's in Detroit right now, just to give you an example of what his coaching style is like. But he was also, I think he was in Golden State. I think he was in Golden State for a spell and Toronto for a spell, right? Or it might have been just Toronto for a spell. And so what I would say, based on the coaches that I have listed, I think this gets you to the NBA championship. Now, here's the thing. If you hire Jarrett Jack and he's a first-time head coach and he's not ready and you just move on from Jarrett Jack, guess what you have as your backup head coaches? Terry Stotts and Brett Brown, right? And so what it's going to look like to those that don't understand why I did it this way. This is the way that the league is going, right? Hire a guy like JJ Redick, and then bring in multiple assistants, like on his staff he has Scott Brooks, right? This is the model that Golden State used, right? Hire Steve Kerr as the strategist that is developing leadership and skills and all of that, and then put a whole bunch of veterans around Steve Kerr. And for that reason that's the reason why I think this model will work for the Knicks, because Jarrett Jack is a been there, done that point guard with Jalen Brunson. Terry Stotts is probably the best offensive mind in the NBA, maybe in NBA history, right? even over D'Antoni. D'Antoni didn't teach you anything special. He just taught you pace, right? D'Antoni taught you pace, like how to get the ball out and get the ball up the floor. That's what he taught. Terry Stotts teaches you how to dissect a defense for high efficiency in the half court, right? And you have a half court operating point guard. You don't have Ja, you don't have De'Aaron Fox. You have a half court maestro. So who better to bring in to unlock Jalen Brunson's potential than Terry Stotts, the half court maestro? He and Caleb Canales are the architects of Dame time, right? And Dame time is not shoot the three from 30 feet. Dame time is spread the floor, get guys cutting on it, spread the floor to 30 feet, have guys cutting to the rim on the backside of it, backside actions, off-ball screens away from the ball to get shooters open and ghost screens. Meanwhile, when the defense is looking at all of that, they have to deal with a lethal weapon at the point of attack. And it's too much most nights for a defense to handle. Now, in terms of the bench, y'all already know where I'm going with this. We need wing play, wing depth off the bench, and a certified bucket. In terms of the big men, y'all already know with Mitch and Cat, all you really need is a third big, and the third big that I like is James Najee. I think James Najee legitimately, when he steps in, might be the best defensive center on our roster, in my mind. A guy that's 6'11", 250, built like Julius Randle at 6'11",
7'5" wingspan, dude.
And jump out of the stratosphere. So I think what I saw James Najee vertical was like, I saw it range anywhere from 41 to 47 inches for a vertical for a dude 6'11", 250. I don't know if it's closer to 41 after the ACL surgery, or if that was his combine number or whatever it is. But for somebody to put 47 inches, that's borderline Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, David Thompson, Blake Griffin type vertical. When me and Coach looked at him one night, he looks like the 6'11" version of Blake Griffin, physique wise. I'm talking about physique wise, everybody, not hops wise, right? And so I feel like if you bring in Jack, automatically what's going to happen is your pace is going to be turned up, right? There's no more walking the ball up the floor, no more smothering Brunson in the backcourt, none of that stuff, right? Because an off-ball play is going to bring the ball up with some pace and get back before the defense sets up. And then you'll have Jalen Brunson dissecting that, and with Cat from 25 feet on a pick and pop. And so one of the other things too, Chat, the pick and roll, I noticed y'all mentioned that a lot. And Fritz, I'm gonna get out of the way, but I wanted to mention this. Knicks fans mention the pick and roll a lot. When you run the pick and roll from 24 feet with no backside actions and no knockdown shooters, all it is a pick. That's it. Because you're not going to get the three-point shooters, you're not going to get the roll man. But if you notice what Terry Stotts pick and roll looked like with Damian Lillard and whoever, from about 30 feet, you get 6 extra feet of spacing, right? And now you don't have to have big wings going to the basket, right? You can get anybody going to the basket because you have that much more space. Because 6 feet in theory sounds like it's only 6 feet from the pick man, but no, that's 6 times whatever the width of the court is, right? So you get that 6, so you get the 30 feet away from the rim plus the additional 6 feet from side to side and depth. So now when guys cut, there's not always guys grabbing a jersey or bumping them or pulling. Coach, I almost took my shirt off just now. You saw that just now. I ain't like I'm in the game. Fritz, I think I'm in the game. Look, me, OG going to the rim and Tom Thibodeau offense, right? But that's what I got, Coach. That's the rock that I was going to put in your shoe. Like,
I'm excited about James Najee, bro, for real. That's like one of those surprise. Look what we got.
Bro, did you know he averaged 0.5 blocks per game in 8 minutes? Fritz, that man averaged half a block in 8 minutes a game.
Don't use that stat.
Right? Because
I know what you mean now.
If that man played 40 minutes, that man would average 2.5 blocks.
Oh, he's gonna be a 2 or 3 block a game dude for sure.
Yeah.
Even if that's all he is. Like, I'm sorry. Look, I'm not trying to give Mitch blasphemy, but he gets this nickname with a block nest monster. He don't even block shots that much. Now he alters shots. He's a good defender, but
now he a better offensive rebounder than Mitch, bro. We gotta relax.
Like Mitch and Cat and our team in general, we're not good shot blockers. This guy though, you look up the definition of shot blocker in the dictionary. There's a picture of this dude.
Fritz, have you seen James Najee yet?
I've seen the clips. I've seen the clips.
What did you like about the clips? There are some things you liked and disliked?
I mean, he's super athletic. Like, I haven't seen a game, so I don't know if he fouls out. So I don't know,
Define super athletic. That is super athletic.
No,
Jericho Sims super athletic or Blake Griffin super athletic?
I say bouncy. I would say those people are bouncy. Like they can get off the floor quick.
Like, to me, Jericho Sims he has straight line speed.
He's explosive.
His vert, but he's not a fluid athlete.
Yeah.
Like Najee is fluid.
Najee is
like he's the definition of a raw. He is.
Oh, I got one. You remember the tight end Vernon Davis?
Oh yeah.
You remember how
yeah.
I spoke to him one night on I was working third shift. I spoke to him one night. The dude I was working with was like, "Yeah, that's my cousin." He's lying. I told Coach that story when I first met Coach. I was like, "Hey man, I talked to Vernon Davis one night when I was working third shift." I'm like, "This is a weird ass story. This is random." And I talked to him, bro. Legit. But anyway, this dude is like, I'm not gonna say Blake Griffin athletic because that's a stretch. Those dudes come around once every 50 years, right? If you talk about pound for pound, but this dude is like, who could I compare him to? Oh, I got that. He's
Sean. I don't know about Sean Kemp, but
he's not Tyson Chandler athletic. Like he's not long and skinny, jump out the building type athletic. Even though he can jump out of the building, I don't think he uses it for that. I think he's kind of like
he's Nigerian athletic. So that he's
DeAndre Jordan. DeAndre Jordan athletic.
Yeah, except smoother.
DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah, I think he's smoother.
See, some of the guys we're mentioning have a little thickness to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and Najee is lean, but he's not skinny.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? He's like lean, muscular.
The dude looks like a stack of barbed wire, bro. He looked like a stack of rebar. That's what he looked like. He looks legitimately like. I'll give an example, Coach. You know how thick Captain America looks, right? Right? You like, man, the Cap is thick until you see him stand next to the Hulk and you think he's skinny.
Right.
That's what he like, bro. Like to me, this dude looks like.
He definitely built like he can be a D end in the league. In the NFL.
That's who he looks like. An athletic profile of the Giants defensive end, the one that blew his arm off with the firecrackers. Yo, what's the guy that blew his arm off with the firecrackers? Y'all know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The dude was doing firecrackers and he blew his whole arm off. He come to training camp like this. Yeah. How you, bro? You're $1 billion athlete. And
my OC? Not OC, the other dude.
Bro, you gonna blow you're an NFL player out here popping $2 firecrackers.
Like Jason Pierre, he built like Jason Pierre-Paul.
Yeah, Jason Pierre-Paul, yeah.
That's him at 6'11". This is the dude moving.
Yeah.
This is the dude the dude moves like that. Now, what does that mean for Ariel Hukporty? I mean, he a second round pick. He couldn't beat out under Tibbs. He couldn't beat out Jericho Sims. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't think he wasn't gonna play by default. But he's shown. But one thing I did like about him that he looked like he could play power forward in. So
Hukporty got some skills, bro.
Yeah.
So what I like about Hukporty too, you can tell Hukporty was developed in Europe.
Yeah, James Najee though.
Yeah, he's got some Euro skills for sure.
James Najee is, in my mind, when he come to camp, y'all gonna see. In my mind, he's gonna be the best.
Is he gonna be ready for something? Like, I know he had that back surgery.
Yeah, he's supposed to be.
He's still only 20, right? He's like 20 right now. 20, 21.
I think he's 20. Yeah. Or is he? I think he's about to turn 21. Either way, it's fine. Because he missed a whole season with ACL surgery. So
that's not
Fritz. This dude legitimately, when he stepped on, as soon as he put the orange and blue on, he might be our best defender.
Yeah, hopefully get a coach who give him a chance. That's all I want.
That needs to be, if there's a bullet point presentation to whoever our next coach is, that better be numero uno. We got 15 to 18 guys we're bringing to camp.
Yep. You
better look at all of them. We know that starting 4 or 5 is nice to play with,
right?
But we know what they can do, and you're gonna have all season to unlock them. I want you to see what these other 9, 10 guys can do on this roster, because as you can see, who's in the finals now. Yeah. That's the new formula in the NBA. It's top heavy shit. Don't work no more.
Yeah,
like 1 star. 1.5 stars, like 2 superstars, and then the rest are depth role players that can, like where you got 3 or 4 guys on any night drop you 20, you got of nowhere.
Yeah,
like who the hell's this guy? Like Caruso getting 30.
That was crazy. Indiana should be slapped for that.
Like dudes like that, like. I don't even want to go back and talk about it again, but
man, dang, it's real quick, man. I gotta get out of here. I got an appointment at like 1:30, and I'm sitting up here talking about Tom Thibodeau rotations. I ain't even took a shower and got dressed yet. Well, I took a shower. Yeah, I know what I mean. I gotta get fresh.
The NBA season ain't even done. This is how big. Look, you want to know how important this team really is and how good it really is? I don't care about New York. I know people like to talk about us for the good or the bad or whatever. We're getting just as much or more press than the NBA Finals right now. Like, the people are talking about the Knicks head coaching situation and possible roster additions and subtractions. And look, they wouldn't be talking about us like this unless they felt it's easy and it's good for ratings when you say like, oh, this roster wasn't good enough. That's why, they're selling clicks. It's clickbait, bro. It's verbal clickbait. That's what the media is now. It's all clickbait. You know, just like some of you guys are saying in chat. I was going to say the same thing because some people are so obsessed with outcomes. Yes, I agree 100%. I feel like this roster's good enough to make it to the finals, but
Yeah.
there's other teams that are getting better too and doing things too.
Mm-hmm.
I can take it if for some reason in the second round some other team did some crazy stuff and just had a great run and our team we can tell they were way better. I can put 2 and 2 together and be like, okay, I understand. But at the same time, yeah, I'm going to be disappointed. I'm going to be pissed because I feel like this team, especially the starters, are good enough. We could be the best team in the NBA, man, with the right.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we take the governor off and let them run, man, let them fly, let them play, use everybody, use the young guys, use everybody.
Yeah. My issue is that they said we didn't have enough. And it's like, okay, if we did it from the very beginning, you had enough.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like,
that was the issue. Is not that we fell short. Is you came out of this whole thing. Nobody's injured at the end of the year, and you said you didn't have enough.
Yeah, it's yes. No, we didn't use enough. That was the problem. We had. It's like I'm sitting here and I was given Wagyu beef. I got all the best cheese from Wisconsin. I got this bakery, this bun from the Jewish deli down the road. I got all this good stuff. And man, we got Walmart ketchup in the fridge.
And you letting the Walmart cooks cook it.
No, but and the thing is, am I gonna not put the Walmart ketchup on that burger? It's still gonna taste good as hell with that ketchup. Now, do I wish it was Heinz? Okay, yeah. Of course, I wish it was Heinz. Of course, I wish I want to add some Hellman's mayo. You know what? If it's Target brand, I can live with it. The cheeseburger's still gonna be pretty damn good with all them other ingredients. But like, if you say, screw it, it's Walmart ketchup. We ain't putting ketchup on it. We'll just eat the cheeseburger the way it is.
Why you hate Walmart, bro? Fridge, you get the same. I'm like, this dude probably don't really.
But you're gonna eat a dry ass cheeseburger. Or you're gonna slap on that other cheap ketchup on it. It's still gonna be pretty damn good. That's like what our bench was. Yeah, Landry Shamet is not Ben Matherin. Okay, I get it. But it all evens out. Our starting 5, technically, on paper and then on the court, if you ask me, we're better than the Pacers.
Okay.
So, and then it evens out where their bench was a lot better than our bench. So, but we never used our bench to know, all year. So we could have brought our bench to a good enough level to where they could have helped enough to spell our starters enough to be better and more efficient, all that stuff. It's just to rehash this conversation. That's all one of the reasons why we got rid of what's his name. That's his new name now. What's his name?
Yeah, because I'm upset because every time I seen Pakham Dadier come into the game, he did well.
I know.
Every time he comes in, he does well. Like
every time Huck Porty came in, he showed us a glimpse of something. Like, whoa! It was exciting.
Oh.
Even a couple of times Kolek went in here and there. Look at Kolick.
Kolick is ready. He'll, in my mind, Kolick will never be an elite defender, right? But at the same time, in today's NBA, bro, there's no way you're gonna tell me Tyler Kolick can guard Anthony Edwards. You know why?
No one can.
Nobody can guard Anthony Edwards. What are we talking about?
Yeah. But
right?
That's why you got Mikal
let him
Bridges.
get burned. But you let him get burned a few times, and you know what? He gonna
Let
put
Najee or Mitch block his shot. It was by him.
Man, I saw Najee. I saw the play where Najee got the put. Did y'all see the highlight where Najee got the putback dunk, where like two dudes boxed him out on one side, the ball came off on the other side, and you were like, "Why did you?" Oh, that dude spent off of being double teamed on a rebound and jumped and caught the ball on this side and threw it down off the rim, and you like, that's why it made the highlight package. Because it looked like a normal, random Tuesday night NBA play, and then it turned into maybe the highlight of the year. That fast. James Najee, bro. James Najee was the steal of that cat trade, everybody. He was the steal of that cat trade. And what makes me like him even more is because on draft night, he was drafted by the Detroit Pistons. Right? He was used that slot, pick number 31.
He's the first pick of the second round, 18 years old.
And one of the deepest drafts, probably one of the deepest drafts in a long time. Right? He went 31. In a normal draft, he probably goes 20. But in a normal draft, we probably don't get him either. So there's that part.
He actually has a 7'7" wingspan, bro.
He's 6'11" with like a Fritz, did you check out his vertical yet? Is it 41 or 47?
I didn't check it.
Oh no, you don't have to. You ain't have to. But man, bro, this dude, bro, this is crazy. I'm gonna pull up the thing.
Bro, he makes Serge Ibaka look small, bro. And Serge Ibaka's a big dude.
Yeah, Serge is huge, bro.
That's who's been working with him, right?
Was it Serge?
Yeah, Serge Ibaka's been working with him.
Wow.
That 1 minute workout video of his with his shirt off and everything, that's that coach. You get a coach's boner, bro.
Yeah. Boy.
That's what
Coach said.
That's boy. What they call it, man. I know it's a pause, but big pause.
Bro. Relax, bro. Easy. So everybody, this is what I'm gonna show you. This is what DraftNet says about James Najee, right? All right, so let me see. James Najee, 6'10", 235. We know he's 6'11", 250 now, but no big deal, right? His strengths, athletic, mobile center, very good size for a big, has amazing length. Reports suggest wingspan between 7'5" and 7'7". A bouncy, very good leaper, either off 2 feet or 1 foot. I didn't know that. Already has an NBA built like a tank. It's really difficult even for physically imposing bigs to move him. Understands his roles and limitations. Coachable, will always do what his coach asks him to do. Has a translatable game to the next level. Likes to play physically. Doesn't back down to anyone. Runs the floor very well for a big. A great, strong finisher at the rim. Wants to dunk everything. Sets good, strong screens, either on or off ball. He doesn't have a problem setting screens constantly during the same play. Good at setting pick and rolls. Has nice mobility in his hips. The definition of, oh, wow, everybody, look at that. Wow. Okay. Wow, coach, look at this. Has good enough mobility and lateral quickness to support switch defense to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Wow. The weaknesses we already know about. Foul prone, feel for the game, all of that stuff. Basically, all the stuff that comes with a defender are his weaknesses, right? Though his weaknesses are everything that comes with a defensive-minded guy. Can't shoot the three, no feel, limited feel for the offense,
Free throws.
all of that stuff that comes with an elite defender. So, yeah. Yeah, man. And so for that reason, I'm saying if you get him and Ariel Hukporty in training camp, bro, my money's on Najee. That's for those that like defense. And if you don't like defense, then I mean Hukporty's your guy. I mean, I'm not saying that Hukporty's a bad defender. I'm saying James Najee has elite defensive potential. Wacko in the building.
I mean, when you coming in the league, when you still got your
pause, ilk. Is it pause hour? Fritz, you got the remote.
When you coming in the league, like already like that 7 foot 250.
Yeah.
He ain't even got that like freshman 15.
Nah.
Like grown man like layer on him yet. And he's already a grown ass man size.
Yeah.
I mean, if just our big man room is, they got some real, they ain't got them little frail dudes. I tell you that, they're all good size. When Hukporty's the skinny one.
Wow.
Think about it. And what's Hukporty? He's about 250, isn't he?
Yeah, 6'11", 250. Yeah.
Mitch. That Mitch might be the skinny one. Now.
Yeah. Right.
That's what's crazy.
So in his draft, he was one of the youngest players in his draft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he is super raw offensively.
It's definitely someone to bring in summer league if he can make it. The roster, awesome. If not, in the G League, it's fine too.
Yeah. So DraftNet says his similarities to paint dominant big men. He has similarities to paint dominating big men like Clint Capella and Mitchell Robinson. That's what DraftNet has for him.
He reminds me of Samuel Dallenberg, but better.
Samuel Dallenberg didn't know what planet he was on sometimes.
I know.
You remember when we tried to play him and Kevin Seraphin?
Oh my God.
I thought he was pretty good on the Sixers. On the
Dallenberg?
Sixers, he only had to do, but he only had to do one thing. Like, yeah.
Samuel Dallenberg dunked from the free throw line in the game. Look up that highlight. Like he did it just in the flow of a game, bro.
Right.
He like was dribbling on a fast break, and like maybe half of his foot was on the free throw line when he dunked.
Wow. Sam Dallenberg.
Talk about Haitians. He's a Haitian.
He's Haitian, yeah.
Yeah, shout out to him and man, shout out to all my Haitians. My Haitian brethren.
Sensation. Yeah,
man. Not the American ones. I'm just talking about my real Haitians from Haiti.
Yeah, the real ones. The real ones.
Oh my God. Right. Yeah, man. Yeah. I gotta get out of here, wrap up, man. I got a couple of things that I wanted to do, man. I'm gonna do another show tonight. I'm definitely doing vibes tonight, though. Yo, tune in tonight, man. If y'all like, I have a bracket challenge I'm gonna do tonight on vibes. So tune in tonight to watch the vibes bracket challenge. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. And all I'm doing, and tonight on Vibes, man, I'll be honest, I'm just gonna be mad, disrespectful, and gruff, right? Make some people frustrated and want to strangle me through the screen, as usual, but for entertainment purposes only. You know what I'm saying? Having fun. Thank you everybody for coming through, rocking with us just now, man. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for helping us get to whatever the subscriber count is. Thank y'all for helping us get to that number. We appreciate y'all. I really don't look at it that much, man. I'm mostly invested in how I come across or how we come across to y'all. So regardless how big the crowd is, man, we appreciate everybody for coming through, rocking. A salute to my crowd on X. The X crowd is growing also. I want to say shout out to State for turning me on to the X crowd. I got to make sure I was giving y'all some stuff, but not really acknowledging y'all. So I'm gonna try to do better at rocking with the crowd on X2 and building that X community, and hopefully we can get it to a place where, you know, that too. And Instagram, Uncle Freezy soon come. So we're on Instagram. I don't put too much stuff out there. IG is like the third kind of thing, but you know what it is, man. We just, you know. So thank y'all for coming through and rocking with us. Josh Hart deserves a lifetime contract with no paperwork. Mitchell Robinson deserves a lifetime contract, no paperwork. Don't at me. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.
Peace.